Okay, so real quick before we talk about all the dumb FGO stuff, I gotta talk to Lost here because it's topical. So I want to point out Claymore, gameplay-wise, is what axes should be, right? Like, they're medium speed, you know, medium power, that kind of thing, you know, but for some reason they just make the axes so fucking lame. It's so annoying. But yeah, Claymore is what I want axes to be. But yes, Claymore is the best weapon, and Bloodborne is unironically worse than Dark Souls 2. Anyway, so Fate Strange Fake Collab Part 2 didn't add any Fate Strange Fake characters. They added an original character, because, you know, that makes sense. And look, if they want to add a character that's like because it's a character that's like relative, you know, related to a Fate Strange Fake character, but they're not in Fate Strange Fake. And I'm like, just do that literally any other time. Yeah, Lost might not feel that way if he plays more of it, because everyone liked Dark Souls 2 when they first played it, and then they kept playing it, and they realized, wait, this game actually sucks. And Lost already admitted this. It's like, if he wants to go play a Souls game and go back, he's not gonna play Dark Souls 2. He'd play literally one of the other ones. Because like, you know, it's like something fun to see, right? Because I had fun with it the first time I played it. You know, because it's fun to see the new areas and fight a new boss and stuff like that. But then it's like, okay, but I could do literally anything else. And yeah, if you want to be like, hey, I want to fight that one boss that was awesome, like Fume Knight, then just use a bonfire aesthetic. Which all the games should have, but that's a different thing. Now, Lonely's out of his mind. Okay, that's a different thing going on over there. Also, you know, that's the people that play Dark Souls 2 first. Okay, we are so behind on this event. I don't even want to play it, honestly. I want to get Hippolyta maxed, just in case I ever want to play FGO again. But, I don't know if it's worth the effort. This game sucks. So, Lost told me that there's people defending the Fate Strange Fate collab not having a lot of Fate Strange Fate characters in it. Oh, Hunterface got a buff. What'd they get? Yeah, we'll do that. Maybe, man, wouldn't it be nice, Chad, if I had, like, content that was challenging? I could go, like, solo and make, like, you know, that kind of shit. I mean, there shouldn't be anything to explain. I'm literally just gonna look this up. It takes no effort to say what a buff was. All right, they made the first skill give crit damage, star rate. Oh, I already had that. It's mainly the crit damage, buff success rate, and battery, because that's so overpowered. Why would you do that? Why does Billy even exist anymore? Like, why? Because now she can have the 20% passive from you know, coins, and then 30% from the skill, so that's 50. So then she can turn 1 NP like Billy, and then just do, you know, way more. This game fucking hates Billy, dude. I remember back in the day, Billy used to be really good and unique because it was so rare to have a unit that could just NP turn 1, like so low resource, right? You didn't have to like use K-scope or anything like that. But yeah, not anymore. All you literally had to say was they gave her battery and buff success chance. The rest of it doesn't even matter. Let's see. Yeah, Hunterface has been one of the better 3 stars for the entirety of the game. It's crazy to me how many people have not noticed that. But now I think she's just, I mean, my god. Like, why use Jin K? Hey, Gambler. I really hate what this game has become, though. It's like, it sucks. everyone just has battery. Everyone. I mean, it's just stupid. The game is completely about getting your NP immediately and using it over and over again without much effort. And the thing is, the enemies end up getting like a lot of challenge quests and stuff are like scaled around that. You know, balancing your star gen versus your NP gain and your raw normal card damage. And when you do get your NP, none of that matters anymore. Even though that's like that should be the meat of the game, because that's what's interesting. Or now it's just like lol NP 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 NP. Like sucks, man. It's funny too when you listen to people talk about FGO that aren't part of the FGO community. They all bring that up, like how dumb the gameplay is, where it's just you're just NPing over and over. It's so fucking like, why do you have all these other systems and mechanics when they just don't matter anymore? And these opening hands though, like there's just like for low stars now and high stars, and this affects high stars more than low stars, but this is definitely an issue for low stars. It's like, why bring a unit if you have another unit that's similar to them that has battery now? Because it used to be, well, because there's not a lot of units that have good battery, right? Or if they do have battery, there's like large drawbacks to them and things like that. But it's not like that at all anymore. Now you have units with a bunch of battery that are also good at literally everything else. Yeah, it's because when we're starting, we're actually playing Slay the Spire, and FGO is the pre-stream. Because, like, early on, you had units like Lancer, Artoria, and Billy. They had 50% battery, but there's some pretty obvious drawbacks to them. You know, Lancer, Artoria doesn't hit super hard, doesn't have hard survival, that kind of stuff. Billy's normal card damage was bad, stuff like that. But, yeah, now it's like, a lot of the characters just do everything. So if you don't also do everything, there's no point in you existing. Yeah, seriously, look at Jin K, then look at Hunter Face. Like, tell me which one you're gonna use, seriously. I'd use Izo. She's definitely better than Izo now. They were pretty comparable. They had a little bit of, like, back and forth depending on circumstances, but, she's definitely better now. And you still got like Phantom of the Opera, who is better than he was day one, but there's still not much reason to use him. Unironically though, like if one of the few 5 stars you have, or you're using the friend support to summon like a friend's Saber Medusa, I actually think Phantom of the Opera is good with her, because that much debuff success up that lasts for like 6 turns means she's just gonna stun all the time. He's probably gonna NP seal me because he's a dick like that. I'm telling you, man, like I've tested this stuff a lot, and it's been a while. I haven't played FGO a lot recently, but Jin K hasn't changed. This is a mistake I see all the time with like FGO players and stuff, and it can matter with like 5 stars, and when you're using Castoria and these really big supports that are like go 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 go, and you're just doing crazy damage. But like the extra damage Jin K gets against King. So like math this out. Look at how much damage it actually adds. Look at how many turns you have it for. And then look at how much more Hunter Face NPs, because like she's so much better at looping and now has battery, right? It doesn't equal out at all. Right? So like if let's say over the course of a fight, let's say it's not a long fight, maybe it's like on the shorter side. Hunter Face might, NP 1 or 2 extra times over Jin K. That easily eclipses the bonus damage she gets to them being King, right? And then you have the fact that Hunter Face actually has survival and all these other things. It's just not, and there's so many things like that now. It's like the game is bad at math. Because like early on, Billy had like use, right? Because again, battery was so rare, like that much battery was so rare. But it's like, now look at how much shit like Robin does now, right? Like there's so much shit in his kit now. So like, who gives a fuck, if Billy has like a slight, bonus in one area? It just doesn't matter. Like, Jinkei's extra damage against King is just not... Unless the fight's literally one turn, right? You're trying to kill it in one NP, right? It doesn't really matter because 100 Face is just going to NP again and again. There's a lot of stuff like that, you know, and for high stars and like meta stuff, sometimes the burst damage on a character is worth it because the fight's gonna be over in like 3 turns, right? So the long-term value doesn't matter. But even with all the power creep, low stars still aren't doing that. Like Jinkei is just such a fucking pointless character right now. I mean, she kind of always has been. Like, I've done a lot of 3-star stuff and low-star stuff, and like, my god, there's almost never a time I'm actually like, oh yeah, Jinkei would make sense here. Like, no way. Like, holy shit, Jinkei's so much worse than all my other options. I'm just not gonna bring her at all. I think I brought her like one time for, and I don't think I even made it into a video. I think it was like a setup I did for a challenge quest where you just needed like I didn't have enough assassins. You know, like the way the fight went, you just brought a bunch of assassins, but then I'm pretty sure what made it into the video was I just like brought a berserker instead or something. A long time ago, I don't remember the deal, but I'm pretty sure, and I might have used her like thematically for a video like once or something, but it's not just me. Like, pretty much none of the people that do stuff really ever use Jinkei. She's very silly. Yeah, I probably did use her against Ort. That probably did happen. What sucks is I remember I still had a lot of good servants left when I won. I wish the Ort fight was longer because like there were still several characters I was like holding on to. I'm like, yeah, they're maybe not the best, but this is still a good 3-star, and I saw, you know, they'll be worthwhile. I get to show them off, but yeah, I didn't actually have to go through them all. You know, I haven't built any Gundam models recently, but I'm about to actually. I was at, you know, some of y'all remember Kai. He used to make FGO videos too. He's my best friend. I've known him since I was 5 years old. He made like the 1 HP Mordred video and all that. But he was at my place the other day, and we literally we built a Lego set, which I haven't done in a really long time. But yeah, we just built a Lego set. And while doing that, I was like, I really should build some models. Ort fight ended when I was still holding on to my strongest units. Yeah, they need to make a hard mode. That story replay and make a hard mode version of Ort. And do you all feel like, I think they should have done Ort a little differently, because the thing is, your character for most of the fights will die. It's not like Ort looks like he's weak, because, you know, after you break the health bar, he is going to kill you, right? So a lot of your characters are going to die. But I would have preferred it be like possible for you to maybe go farther per fight, but also make it a lot more likely that you don't even break the health bar at all, right? If that makes sense. Like, don't strong arm you so much. Like, balance it out. Make it so when you break the HP bar, it doesn't get like that much harder, but make it also just harder to break the HP bar, period. I think that would have been better. I don't like a lot of, actually, I don't like any of the Gundams from Mercury. Now, I like some of the grunts. Actually, quite a few of the grunts I think are really cool. But yeah, I don't like any of the gun. I kind of like the original, the one in episode 0, like before it had the paint job and all that. That one's okay, but like it's not that great. And the grunts in episode 0 were better. Oh, the IBO one. Right. That's a deep one. I am gonna buy another Leo though. No, you're actually okay. So, Graze is really cool, and I probably will get a Graze. I really do like Graze. It's green. It's practical looking. It has an axe. But I need multiple Leos. This is very important. You gotta have the boys, right? You gotta have the troop, right? Military man. It's gotta be uniform. Yeah, there's absolutely gonna. I'm literally gonna have multiple Leos, and like I'm not even gonna do what people like. I'm not. A lot of Leo fans, they'll get like a ground Leo. They'll get a space Leo, right? Then they'll have another Leo with the flight pack, right? Then they'll have a Leo with the shoulder. No. We just a lot of ground Leos. Thank you. You got to make this shit look like you're ready to invade a country. I know what I'm about. Yeah, Grace is awesome. Grace is definitely one of the cooler grunts out there. Makes me sad that it's so unpopular, actually. Like, it really is just not... Like, Leo really does have its fans, right? There is a decent amount of people out. Holy fuck, these guys literally slap. But yeah, there's a decent amount of people out there like, yeah, Leo's fucking awesome. And like Zaku goes without saying. It's actually kind of debatable. Zaku might be the most iconic mobile suit, actually. Like, obviously the original Gundam is, but it really is debatable. Like, the original Zaku might actually be more recognizable than the original Gundam. Like, that thing is crazy famous. Way to crit, champ! Literally one crit and one where we got a bunch of NP gain and you would have killed him, and you had like, what looked like 50 and 70. Great job. Jesus. Try to get some crits this way. You know what's really funny though? The Zaku 2, right, which is the original Zaku, is one of the most iconic giant robots ever. Also, Sphinx, thank you for the 48 months, dude. I really appreciate that. Man, I need to play Elden Ring. Hearing that Stormhawk axe sound, it's been a long time. But I was gonna play when Tarnished Edition came out, and they just keep delaying it. So, speaking of assassins that there's absolutely no reason to use when 100 Face exists, look, it's Jekyll and Hyde, one of my favorites. But God, is he terrible. But yeah, so the Zaku 2, one of the most iconic giant robots of all time. It sold so much merchandise, so many models and toys and cups and hats. Like, there's so much merchandise around the Zaku, right? It's made them crazy money. Incredibly successful design. It was specifically designed to not be marketable. So when they were making the original Gundam, you know, they knew they wanted the Gundam to be like a model, a toy and stuff, and it to be marketable. And they wanted it to look very unwarlike. That's why its colors are so like garish. You know, it's like white and red and yellow and blue, right? It's so not military. That was like by design, right? And then they had no intentions of making any merchandise for the bad guy mobile suits, right? And so they told the artists, you know, we're not making toys out of this and stuff. You don't need to worry about this being marketable. Just make whatever you want. You know, they just... and then so he did make whatever he wanted, and it ends up being one of the most, you know, iconic designs for giant robots ever. So it's just kind of funny how that works. When you kind of try to make something not marketable, it ends up being unbelievably marketable. Do you hate Char's style of making everything red? I mean, he doesn't even make them red. He makes them pink. It's like, it's not like kind of. Like, he makes them... I should have cast evade there. I could have died. We almost lost this stage. But like his Zaku is pink. Now, certain parts of it are more red, right? It's got like darker pink and bits that you could argue are red, but he's the pink Comet, not the red Comet. Like, let's be serious here. And Johnny's red, right? Johnny's mobile suits are red, and that's fine. Like, his stuff looks good. Like, his Gelgoog and Zaku look really good. But yeah, that's the red one. But yeah, Char's just pink. And I'll say this, Char's Zaku looks worse than a regular Zaku. Char's Gelgoog looks worse than a regular Gelgoog. Char's Dom, which isn't really canon, but it's like a, you know, could be thing, looks worse than a regular Dom. Right? So he downgraded everything that he touched. His Zagok looks worse than a regular Zagok. We're like, I would say Johnny's Gelgoog looks better than the default Gelgoog. So, you know, there's actually a W there. Dude, Zeta fans will hate me for saying this. Like, this is like what I'm about to say is like a famous, like, newbie thing to say or whatever, how they'll put it. They'll act like this is just such a bad take. But I unironically think the Zeta movies are way better than the show. And I don't think it's even close. I think they're so much better. Like, and they will argue, but you know, you lose so much context and like depth. No, you don't. Like, okay, so look at the Fate Strange fake anime, right? How they have cut out a bunch of like scenes for the characters. And that, I would argue, you really are losing a lot of important context. Like, you don't know what the true Hassan is about because they've cut it. You don't know. You can't tell me you understand anything about his character if you've only watched the anime. And that goes for a lot of the characters, because like they fundamentally have erased a lot of stuff that is really important to these characters. The Zeta movies aren't like that. You know, what you are missing is so easy to fill in the gaps. It's nothing. Like it's literally nothing. And regular Zeta, like the show, has so much filler. It's unbelievable. It is so much filler. It is so much better off without it. And the Zeta movies make the fight scenes better. Also, they have Yazan kill more people, that's a huge plus. So yeah, the movies are way better, way more coherent. Jared sucks and Camille sucks. I think Camille is one of the worst main characters. I asked my friend Kai this actually, what his least favorite main character is, and he said Camille from Zeta Gundam, and I think he's on to something. Like that is one shit ass main character. I can't believe, though, the Part 2 banner for Fate Strange Fake did not add a Fate Strange Fake character. Why have they been so on about this? They did that Fate, Samurai Remnant, and then, like, they added, you know, an alternate version of a character instead of the actual character, right? And shit, like what the hell? Like, can we... Remember when Collabs just collabed with the thing and you got the thing? That was great. Like, you got Shiki here, right? It's not weird Shiki. It's not Shiki as a magical girl. It's not Shiki with blonde hair. You know, it's just regular Shiki from K&K, because that's the cool thing that you like and you want to see that thing in the game you're playing, right? It's not alt Shiki, it's just Shiki. Yeah, no, they really don't like True Assassin in the anime. They just cut everything. It's fucked up, man. Yeah, arcade, they have started to act like arcade, where they have, like, you know, alt versions of the thing, you know, instead of the thing. Hey, that is so funny. That is so funny. I had no idea. Chat, I like how I was doing a pattern of using 100 Face for 100 Face's mission, and just for on a total whim, I'm like, let's use Shiki as a one-off. And we happen to be fighting the new-ish Summer Shiki, talking about bad alt versions of characters, by the way. That is so funny, dude. Time to murder. Damn it, I should have brought a damage mystic code. We'll still get her. Don't know what that buff is that she's got. It's just so weird to me that they only added 2 Fate Strange Fate characters, and one of them is the welfare with no real effort put into it. Like, this doesn't feel like a collab at all. $60, $190. Oh, baby, a triple. That damage is disgusting, by the way. Fucking 120s, man. That's crazy. I've seen that when you have a good 120, even if it's like a 3-star, 4-star, whatever, it doesn't have to be some meta 5-star. But you'll have like a break bar and a challenge quest, and they just like rip it apart with normal cards. Shit's funny, dude. Look, it is fine for them to do Camelot Zero stuff. I've actually wanted them to do that for a while. Let me fix my sound. But like, that's totally fine. But this isn't the time to do that. Right? Like, that. Don't act like it's a Fate Strange Fate collab and then do a bunch of shit, you know, that's not really related to it. That's silly. Okay. Yeah, they don't add collab characters in collabs. I mean, they added some, just very little. They used to add a lot more. I want to do the actual collab, but I'm falling behind on buff quests here. I'll do these later, though. I need to get cracking, or we're never gonna finish this event. Do you think they'll ever do Fate Lost? Hard to say. There's not that many books out. And, I don't know how much, life FGO's got left in it. Hard to say. I mean, it could happen. You think of the new character's armor? Too garish for my taste. I don't, hate it. I'm not like, oh god, this looks terrible. It's not like that, but... when for FGO, armor I like is Lancelot's armor, maybe Mori Stage 1's armor, stuff, like that. Oh look, you have to use 100 phase. Oh, fuck that shit. Did not intend that at all, just a coincidence. I'll do Atlas, it's fine. Alright. 77k. Oh, come on. You can do better than that game. This poor bastard. I'm just gonna blow him the hell up. Although command codes would have been smart. So chat, random thing I was thinking about the other day, and I've vaguely talked about this before. Oh, is there another one? Is there... Oh, come on! I could have handled it! Game, please. Why can't you actually work and have fun and, strategize? But, Fate Strange Fake, obviously Gil gets ganked, but then he comes back later, and then he's, doing some crazy shit with Gate and all that. But even with Fate Strange Fake, where you see Gil doing some crazier shit that you don't normally see him do, right? And doing, stronger stuff you don't normally see him do, summoning shields liberally and stuff like that, which he's done before, but, way more in Fate Strange Fake. Etc, etc. I still stand by the only time Gil has really shown off why Gate of Babylon is so disgusting is literally in the fucking Fate route. When he fights Artoria the first time. Not the second time. He's actually holding back so much the second time. Doesn't really do anything. But when Saber is on the fucking date with Shiro and Gilgamesh shows up, that's the only time we have at all the Fate stuff, right? Gil's been used more than a lot of characters. Right? He's been in a lot of different games and anime and books and stuff. But the only time you really see Gate of Babylon being used in the way that shows how scary it is literally that one fight with Artoria. Right? Literally the only time. And it's weird because it's not like Gil doesn't know how to do that. He does. It's just, they just don't. They just don't. I mean, it's not just in the anime, it's in the visual novel too, where he cherry picks, very specific items from Gate and uses them in tandem to just, body Artoria and just counter the shit out of her. Or, he can do that with anybody, and you never see that again. And I will always stand on this. I will die on this hill. First off, the CGI dragon is so much better than what is in the visual novel. You guys, everyone makes fun of the CGI dragon. That's all people even... I'm actually kind of tired of it because I think most people don't even know what they're talking about. They're just repeating it. They just hear... That's all... Anytime someone brings up the Doomsday Night anime like on Reddit or Discord, it's just LOL CGI dragon. That's it, every time. It's like a meme, and like no one actually knows what they're talking about. Like, meanwhile, what that dragon is replacing is infinitely more cringe. Like it's not even close. And like it's not great CGI, obviously, but it's not really that bad. It's kind of what you just expect out of anime. Anime is like never good with CGI, and it's so like not a big deal. And then again, I'm so glad it's there because it's so much better than the fucking visual novel. Like, good lord, the visual novel, dude, so bad. Nope, still haven't watched Vinland Saga. And like, I will say this, a lot of times, like CGI really shouldn't be used in anime. A lot of times it's just being lazy. Like anytime something's hard, and it's so like depressing when you watch some of the older anime that had like these veteran hand animating beasts, right? Like the animators of old are just so much better than the people now. I'm sorry, it's just true. So you watch like some of the anime from back in the day where they didn't have the option to use CGI. And like, you know, they're animating these giant monsters from different angles and all this stuff, and it's just like fucking crazy. And like look at Gundam 0083 for crying out loud. You know, they're hand animating these mechs and doing all this crazy movement and combat and stuff. It's crazy, right? And then now, anytime like like this is what a lot of anime is. All the static and like barely moving stuff is animated, right? Anytime motion needs to happen, like real motion needs to happen, they use CGI. Because it's just too much bother for them to animate it now. It's so sad, dude. Oh my god, and I will give them this. It's not the worst I've seen, but in like, I think it's episode 10 of Fate Strange Fake. The one where they condensed like an entire book into an episode, right? That one. They used a lot of CGI in that, and for stuff that was really dumb. There was like a shot of Gilgamesh not even like moving, it was just the camera was moving a bit. And it's pure CGI. And when like there's a lot of shots of Alcades when he's like bleeding and stuff and doing some like motion, and it's just pure CGI. He's not drawn at all. And it just doesn't, it looks better I guess than most CGI in anime, but like it really didn't need to be CGI, and it was just laziness. Animators don't get paid enough, man. True. That doesn't really, that's not really my point though. It's like, I'm not even hating on animators of the time. It's just like the art has been degraded, right? The medium has degraded over time, right? The skill has been lost. You know, most animators today literally don't know the techniques and stuff that animators in the past were doing. You know, it's kind of, I was thinking about this the other day. Imagine these kids growing, people that are like 4 years old right now, right? Or even people that are going to be born like tomorrow, right? And they are going to be growing up with like Chat GPT and stuff as a norm. You know, it's not like this new technology. It's not like a you know, like it's so normal, and they do not understand it. You know, the people that are a bit older right now have watched AI develop from its like, you know, Will Smith spaghetti hands to, you know, what it is now, right? So you've seen the steps, and so you can kind of get, you know, how the algorithms are working and you know how it's gotten to this point. And very importantly, you've seen the technology before AI, right? You've seen the search engines and the cell phones and the brick phones and these things. So like you have some degree of understanding of what AI is. Kids growing up with tablets in their hands and they just have Chat GPT and everything by default, they don't understand it. It's literally magic to them. It's literally, I want this thing, and I say, you know, I want this information, and it just gets there. They don't have any understanding or appreciation or concern of it. You know, that shit's not healthy. And I think animation's kind of like that, where like, because as time has gone on, we've kind of just lost it. right? I've told this story many times, but it's just depressing. There was like a Disney project, it was a long time ago now, but you know, Disney had been like 3D instead of 2D for so long. They wanted to do like a 2D shout out or something like that, where they needed like animators, and none of their animators could do it. None of them could do it. So they literally had to call up these like, you know, really old guys that used to work for Disney way back in the day that actually knew how to do it, and they had to get them to come help. And it's just like, you gotta be kidding me, man. And it's like, I already see young people, like, if they have a problem, they just have ChatGPT try to solve it. And here's the thing, ChatGPT sometimes is a useful tool. Don't get me wrong, it's not like it's useless, but it's wrong a lot of the time. It is so... Here's a great way to confirm. Find something you're very knowledgeable about, right? And then grill ChatGPT on it hard. And it is so wrong. It's motherfucker, I asked ChatGPT the other day, what color, by the way, I'm gonna out myself as a Gundam nerd here, but I asked ChatGPT, what color is the Taurus from Gundam Wing, the white fang version of it, right? The white fang version of the Taurus. What color is that? It was so confidently wrong, like describing like just the complete wrong colors. And then I told it, that's incorrect. Also, you're wrong. It's not white. You fucked up. Then I told it, you know, try again. You got it wrong. And it just kept getting it wrong forever. It never got the colors right. And it couldn't even, and it was obvious because it couldn't figure out, like it couldn't get the data it needed. It couldn't figure out what, you know, the white fang variant of the Taurus looked like. And so instead of saying, I can't get that data, I can't piece this together, it just comes up with a confident lie to sound like it's smart. Like, and that happens all the time with AI. It will just so confidently like make its argument or say something is this way or whatnot when it's just wrong and it literally doesn't have the data to pull from. And there's just a lot of stuff like that where it has absolutely no idea what it's talking about, but it will act like it does. Yeah, I know. I remember back in the day, but when like Google was kind of first popping off and why it became so popular, its search engine used to be amazing, right? It's so bad now. And look at YouTube, right? And YouTube is like powered by the Google search algorithm. Have you guys seen like how often you'll have like maybe known of a video from the past and it's still on YouTube and you search its exact title and it won't come up? And what comes up is not other videos with the same title or anything. It's a bunch of other bullshit that has nothing to do with it at all. Like, I've seen that so many times where you literally search this video and it will not give it to you. It'll give you a bunch of like mainstream garbage that, you know, pertains to like each individual word and crap. Like, it's so bad. There's so much stuff like that. Like, because they're not interested in you actually finding what you want. They're interested in shoveling down the mainstream advertiser stuff down your throat. Consume what we want you to consume. Get your eyes on this thing, because this is what the machine wants you to see, right? So we'll make sure that's what you see, right? There's so much crap like that. It's sad, dude. It's so sad. Okay, so we have to bring... can I bring someone else's? I don't know if she's available from other people yet. I do need to finish this event, though. I do want to have her at NP5 and permanent and all that. And just in case, you know, they ever do something with FGO I care about. Wonder if she can solo this at, like, whatever bullshit level she is right now. She's level 60. We'll see. I mean, she's got bonus damage. This will be interesting. We might have a fail here. And yeah, a lot of stuff is AI when you search things too. And like game development is starting to become a lost art. I'm serious. You have this huge industry of game development, and most of the devs now literally... Is Lost still here? I need Lost to chime in on this so bad, because, you know, Lost is an engineer, and so he knows exactly what I'm talking about. There are so many fucking like devs now that do not know how to do dev work. They know how to use Unreal 5, which is not the same thing. That's not being a developer, right? That's being like a user of a product. And there are so few people now that actually understand how to do development work for video games. It's sad, dude. It's super sad. And it really wrecks creativity when people are like relying on, you know, certain like things like Unreal 5 and things like that. I don't just mean like games being bad, like Concord and all that. I mean, that stuff is bad, but like, there's a lot of like game optimization and stuff that like devs just don't know how to do anymore. That like, you know, devs from fucking, you know, 1999 knew how to do and stuff, right? It's sad, dude. Why do we have all this evade? I can't use my cards like this. Triple George, let's go. And AI is going to make it worse because AI can do a lot of the coding for you. Like, it's important for people to, like, humans to understand the chain of events that result in something, right? You need people that can, like, function and fix and repair and innovate on, like, the whole chain, right? If it's technology, you need humans to understand electricity production, the power lines, you know, all of it, the things using the electricity. You need people to understand every step of it and not have it be a mystery. But like having AI do the coding for you, now the coding's a mystery. You don't understand how this thing's actually working, right? That is not good. And there's a lot of that going on right now, I think, where like several steps in the chain, you don't actually have experts that actually understand it. At least not commonly. And there still, of course, are people that understand game development and those kinds of things, but... Dude, what is going on? Why do I have so much fucking evade on my taunt walls? And I love how George is just getting every card ever. Why does she have taunt? Did I do this? Did she have a taunt in her kit? I don't actually remember. I may have done that. No, that's not me. That was just there for some fucking reason. I like how the enemy almost has his NP and I'm just now getting rid of my taunt walls. Do you want Sane, Herc to be Saber or Archer? I always say Saber. I mean, Archer would be fine. I'd be happy to get Archer Herc instead of fucking OC Avenger Herc. But yeah, Saber would be my favorite. Because it's like, I always say this, it's because Saber Hercules would be the most like Berserker Hercules, but not crazy and have his skill and thought and everything. So I like that. But Archer Herc would be fine. Rider Herc would be fine. Lancer Herc would be fine. Because he can be all of those too. BBB. Chat, I gotta really give it to the voice actor though, because I don't like Alcades, right? You know, Herc Alter, whatever you want to call Avenger Herc, whatever you want to call him. I don't like him at all. But I gotta admit, his voice actor is so cool in both English and Japanese that he's kind of awesome anyway. Like, even if I don't like him, I can't help but like him, if that makes any sense. Like the voice actor really just kills it. And you know, and there are remnants of what I like about, you know, Hercules, Heracles, you know, like 9 lives and all that, so. Like, you know, how do I put this? I'm never looking forward in the anime to like Alcades moments, right? Because I don't like Alcades, right? I'm not rooting for this boy. But man, when he said 9 lives, I'm just saying that was pretty good. However, can we just, how many years into Fate are we? Like 20 years into Fate? How come we're like 20 years into Fate and we've never actually seen regular ass Heracles use 9 lives? Why have we gotten Gilgamesh using 9 lives, kids using 9 lives, Sakura using 9 lives, you know, Alcades using 9 lives? Can we just have the actual 9 lives, please? You know, the thing that actually made it famous. Can we have that, please? You know, 21 years in? Because Nasu is a bum? That does seem to like the case. Hey, Hex, by the way. Lost, were you, did you hear what I just said? I think you missed, like, I needed you here in chat, because I was talking about how, like, kids growing up with Chat GPT, you know, aren't gonna understand anything. It just, like, happens, like, you know, magic to them. And, like, with game development, you're starting to have game devs that don't actually understand how to be a game dev, right? Like, they don't actually understand the process. They're just users of a product. And it's kind of like, it's like if you had engineers working on power lines who don't actually understand the entire process of how, like, electricity works. You know, this is not good. You can't be missing a step. And, like, that's, like, what's happening, right? Is you're starting to have, like, a lot of people in different forms of art, be it, like, animation, you know, and things like that, and, you know, game development and just engineering in general, where people don't actually understand the process. They don't understand from the ground up how this thing actually works. It's horrifying. Yeah, can we have, what, fuck, what's his, it's been so long, is it Chimbata? I don't think that's right. I haven't played FGO in so long, I'm forgetting, the cool uncle guy, samurai guy, beard, Chimbata, yeah, I think that is right. He's awesome, dude. Why isn't he playable? Yeah, Unity is honestly a fine engine. They got so greedy. I mean, they rolled that back, but, like, the fact that they tried that, it's just like there's no trust there, obviously. Are they gonna keep on making? I really hate this. Okay, you don't have to bring her, but I guess I need to get Bond. That's probably a mission. I guess I should bring Mordred and Ku because they give plus 25%. But you know, I can just use them. They're awesome. What am I even talking about? There you go. Problem solved. Who else needs Bond? Let's see. I mean, at least he's Bond 6. It's also a 5-star, so that's kind of a pain. She's probably not much Bond, actually. I should get her. Well, I mean, unless you're gonna go all the way to 10, I guess it doesn't really matter. I should probably get her to 10. Okay, there we go. Sensible picks. Maxwell's Demon? Yeah, obviously I want that. That's, like, crazy high on my list. Okay. Imagine using the characters you like instead of being super meta. What a concept. Everyone gets Golden Sumo. I really do need to get this to 10 at some point, but it's so bad for like 99% of the content, and it's not really fun to use. We do this. That's way more fun. Yeah, I know. Redline has some things that'd be cool to see, but yeah, they're not going to be added. Let's be honest. Okay, chat. What's like 5 characters that are NPCs or from other Fate works that you would want in FGO? Assuming they were done well, like, you know, animated well and so on and so forth. Like, if they were going to be implemented well, who would you want to see? But yeah, they have to have like an actual design, you know. It can't be like Green Knight, who although is a canonical character in the Fate universe, well, you know, what he is isn't really clear, so. Chimbato's definitely up there for me. Yeah, I'll bet you a lot of people are gonna say Bat Guy. Yeah, Dumas. Yeah, Dumas is my #1 from Fate Strange Fake. Yeah, Maxwell's Demon, Acrovane, the classic. So some of them I wouldn't say because I'm so confident they'll get in, right? Like Jack is gonna get in, and I love Jack to death, but I'm not worried he's gonna get in. So I wouldn't pick him, even though I like him a lot. I mean, Maxwell's Demon for me. Let me think. What else? This is tough. Probably do Maz because I'm not as confident he's gonna get in. Let me think. I know this is hard. I can think of a lot of stuff, and you only get 5 picks. Oh yeah, Proto Kill. That's a thing. Oh yeah, Zeus. God damn it, man. I don't know how to answer this. That Galahad. Yeah, I'm sad that I was right about Galahad not getting in, because I was like, guys, his NP isn't real. Because like it used the background of the stage and stuff. There was like no way that we were actually getting it like that. So it's so lame though, because Galahad was pretty awesome. Yeah, John's really cool, and he may not get in. He probably get tied in with Dumas. Warp Spasm Coup. Doesn't have a design. That's canonical, but it's not like we actually know what it looks like. I'm kind of like referring to things that are out there that, you know, they have NPC designs in FGO, or they're characters from other works, right? So you know the thing. Give it to me anyways. Yeah, I know, right? Funny enough, Warp Spasm Coup was the first time Fate, he's the example they used to like explain alternate versions and other classes of characters. It was Unlimited Blade Works, like the visual novel. And it was them talking to Ku when they allied with him, and he was explaining how he could be summoned as a berserker because of like the warp spasm stuff. Damn. I do miss when attack animations were animated. That was a good time. I don't know why I just did that. That was completely unnecessary. Let's see if Ku can get a crit here. Damn, I was hoping Mordred would art crit there on overkill to actually get some NP. Yeah, a lot of Fate Lost stuff is really cool. Oh, Wild Hunt, that's a good pick. Yeah, he was super cool. For your grands, I'll show them here when the stage is over. Let's see. I'll give her that. We can only kill 3 here tops, so. Can Ku do 40k to a saber? I think it would just like the slightest amount of damage up, probably. I think he'll target that though, so I can probably do like that. Oh, you know, not my top pick, but from Fate Lost, Lagartha's cool, and she's got like proper axes, so that's nice. That's a cool one. But yeah, I mean, Maxwell's Demon is really high on my list, and Shimbata. Those were both really high on my list. And there's other characters I super like. I'm just like a lot more confident in them getting added, so I'm not like worried. Like Dumas, you know, Dumas. I mean, I'm not as confident in him getting added as like as you know, like Jack. Jack's definitely getting added. Yeah, they're never adding regular Vortigern. I guess I could pick him though, because well, I don't know. He's in Fate, like in voice, he's in Garden of Avalon, like regular Vortigern, but he doesn't like have a design really, so it's pretty borderline. Good night. What time is? Oh yeah, you're in New Zealand, the land of new things. That's definitely why it's called that. Last card servants are awesome. It's 11 p.m. Damn. Yeah, what time is it for you, Hex, if you're still here? And before it's like 5 a.m. or some crazy shit. Let's see. They're not all like together because they're not all the same level, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who's missing? Can I not count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh yeah, there she is. I forgot. Is that right there? But she's really not like that high in my list of favorite characters, but there's really nothing else in that extra slot that I would want to make a grand out of. So I don't like hate mash or anything, but I like all the other characters here significantly more. Take care of Green. He's gone senile and relapsed into FGO. I have not relapsed into FGO. I play this so rarely, dude. Like, it's been like a week and a half since I've played it. That was when I last streamed it. 3 a.m. Damn, I was close. Yeah, mash is fine. You know, by the way, white bread has never been like normal to me. I grew up eating whole wheat. I've always had whole wheat bread, and when I rarely have white bread, I'm so confused by it. Like, I don't even know, like, it's so strange to me. So, the level 92, I'm so happy. You guys don't understand how happy I am with all these characters being level 92. And I'm gonna do it with more characters too. Like Tom and Gundam Guy are gonna get it. Richard's probably gonna get it. Yeah, there's several other ones in here that I'm gonna do that. I'm like so happy with that. You do not understand, because if I didn't do that, all these characters that I really like, you know, like Edmund and Lobo, Beowulf, you know, they're a cut above, right? I like these characters a lot. They're just being mixed in with all this bullshit, right? I don't want that. I want all the characters I like to be higher on the list, so they're like what you actually see when you're scrolling down. There's nothing ugly about 92, and there's nothing wrong with 91 either. That's the one that really pisses people off. Also, I do it, yeah, I do it with, I've been starting to do it with my silvers too, because like they're 75, so that way they're still budgeting, and they're like, you know, they're on the weaker end and stuff like that, but I can like get to them faster, and they're easier to find. I'm gonna do that to more of them. I've kind of slowed down on that though, not because I don't like it, but because I'm playing FGO so rarely, I'm not getting grails, so it's like hard to do that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this. Can I just say, I know I bring this up a lot, but like, it's because I see Calamity Jane is the weirdest thing on my account by so much, and the series of events that have led to this is just so weird. Also, I'm never gonna forget how bad that went, right? Like, I was like, oh yeah, you know, she's probably never gonna be rated up again, so I'll try to get like NP2 or whatever, just so she's more usable, and like how bad that went. That was fucking terrible. That's some sunken cost fallacy right there. But yeah, no, yeah, she stands out like an absolute motherfucker. Like, it's really bizarre. But I mean, she gets a pass for a few reasons. One, because it was so fucking hard to get her. I'm like, okay, well then I'm at least gonna grail her, so she's like good, right? Like, I'm not gonna have wasted all that and not have the character be usable. But she unironically has a very fun toolkit. She actually has one of my favorite toolkits in the entire game, because it's like, it's pretty strong and interesting, but it's not overpowered or anything. So it's like, it's not like if let's say you're using a lot of low stars and then you put Castoria on the team, like, it's so, Castoria's impact is just way too high, and it's like, it's ridiculous. Where like Calamity Jane is like, hey, this is a fun, neat thing how you can give other people pierce and vulnerability, and you have some other nice, you know, you get a little battery, not a lot, but a little bit of battery and other utilities. So it's useful, but it's not like overpowering like Castoria. So that's really fun gameplay wise, and the fact that she does damage herself and stuff. And also, I just like, you know, anything Western related, even though she's like a really warped version of that, which I'm not really happy about at all. But yeah, she stands out like mad, because like, you know, this doesn't stand out at all, and no one would be surprised that I've got that and stuff. And of course, I got, you know, David and Robin and whatnot. That Billy though. By the way, this is one of the best Final Ascension arts in the game. I'm just saying. Oh yeah, there was the like the other gunslinger in Saber Wars. They've just never bothered to. I like how they had a segment in like a magazine of like potential characters and like NPCs, and she's listed as just question mark, question mark, question mark, which you don't hide that unless you're planning on doing something with them. But I think it's been lost between the cracks, right? Just like how Saber Deermid was supposed to be in America and they just didn't get around to it. And stuff, the face range collab was supposed to happen a while ago and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, come on, Lobo is just, he's just fucking awesome, dude. But yeah, I do like this one a lot. Lobo just looks really cool. I don't use that many Final Ascension arts though. Like I don't even use it for coup and stuff. I don't like something just because it's fancy or just because it's the final one or anything like that. Like I have to actually like it. I like this one a lot. Very green. Yeah, so where's Antonio? This is incredible, but I mean, he just looks cool, period, right? I mean, seriously, like this all looks great. But I do love how the like connection this has with Mozart's Final Ascension. I just think that's super cool. I mean, this really is something though. Like, that's a hell of an art. But yeah, if you look through this, I really don't have a lot of Final Ascensions on here. I don't actually remember what hers is. Oh yes, Angie. I didn't remember that at all. You win these missions real quick. Stop talking. Sometimes when you click them, they stop talking, and sometimes they just start a different voice line. I don't really get it. Copyright. I would like a Lost Belt 1, like, OVA or something. Although they'd probably fuck it up, and all the things I find cool about it, they'd probably change. Like Billy shooting everything that moves. They'd probably change that. It is funny, like, how much shit Billy wrecks in Lost Belt 1. Like, he has that showdown with Atalante and just takes her ass out. And then you really think he's gonna die fighting, like, the special police, and he doesn't. And he survives. And then he whoops Kadok and, what's her name? What the fuck is her name? Anastasia, excuse me. I would hope they wouldn't cut Billy because he really did play a big role in that. But, I mean, man, 100 Face played a decently large role in Camelot. I mean, not a huge one, but... But she got cut. Or they got cut, I should say. The squad. I hate how much stuff from VC Braun got cut from APOC, dude. That made me sad, because I remember when they announced the APOC anime, almost all I was looking forward to, and it wasn't because there's not other cool shit, it's just because this overpowered everything else. I was just so looking forward to, like, a VC Braun stuff, and, like, his motivation, and then the big fight scene with Adam. Like, it's crazy, dude. I know, like, 2 people from my chat have ever done this, where they actually went and read the book part of Adam, like, the fight scene with Adam in the book. And they were both like, yeah, it's so much better in the book. Because it's so lame in the anime. It's like a quick monster of the week segment. And it's so nothing. Where in the book, it's just epic as fuck. And there's way more action. And then also it's a lot more meaningful because not only is the fight scene better and the like you really feel how unbelievably overpowered Adam is and how much stronger he's gonna get, like that's conveyed a lot better. But because you have a VC Bronze motivation and everything, it's a lot more meaningful, right? Like you really see that this is, you know, his life work and everything, and like actually knowing why he did it and stuff is just so much better. But yeah, the anime is like, fuck it. Fuck it, give me some MP gain. Yeah, Babylonia cut a lot, and Babylonia was just weird. Like they cut out all the Benkei stuff, and they had fucking that was so lame. They had, what's her name? I think it's because they wanted her to get more hype. They wanted her to be more popular. Quetzalcoatl, whatever the fuck you say her name, because they just had her do everything that Benkei was supposed to do. And then also in the game, when she tries to fight Tiamat, she completely fails. She doesn't even make Tiamat flinch, right? Where in the anime they try to make it look like she's like super impactful and stuff. Can she kill? Because I think that's like a debuff when you attack him or something. Oh no, it's when he attacks you. Well, I tried. Yeah, they do fuck up Tiamat's character. Like fundamentally, they fuck her up because they don't explain or even show or hint at the stuff where like the real Tiamat didn't want to do all this and her body's like out of control and she's like intentionally nerfing herself, hoping she'll be defeated and stuff. They cut all of that, and the fact that, you know, she lets Mash like brain kill her because she's trying to help. And it's weird too because it's kind of it's really on the nose in the game, right? Like Tiamat's literally restraining herself, right? She's literally bound herself so her body won't go out of control. And she's literally doing everything she can to just be like a sitting target for you to kill her. And then her body's, you know, screeching and screaming, you know, and like buffing and debuffing you and stuff in the gameplay segment. But like she's literally, that's why she doesn't fight, right? When in the boss battle, that's why she doesn't attack you, because she's like restrained herself. But yeah, they cut all that, which is weird because that adds, you know, some kind of like depth and also mystery. It's like, you know, why is Tiamat acting that way? But yeah, they just cut it. Yeah, no, they like invert Tiamat, and they do that because they want the main character to be important. And they've done that pretty consistently in the FGO anime stuff, like all the anime adaptation stuff, is they try to make the master like more important and like play a bigger role and stuff, because my self-insert and stuff. That's like, you can really see that in a lot of the FGO stuff. But yeah, 100%, they wanted him to be like important, all the stupid shit. Yeah, the Solomon movie did it too, big time. And dude, I really dislike the Solomon movie for this, because what I was looking forward to the most was, you know, actual Solomon's NP. And they downplay that. So I mean, you can't tell me they didn't do this. So in the game, it's like Solomon's NP wrecks Guadia so much, it like fundamentally destroys his plan, that everything's just gonna fade away. Everything Guadia related is just going to fade away. The second Romani's, you know, slash Solomon uses his NP, Guadia's done. Guadia's plan is done. He can't win. It's over. He's finished. He's going to die. And everything that happens from that point on is kind of like refuse, you know, fallout. And that kind of plays into Guadia's character, right? He's finally being human and being petty. But yeah, Solomon completely takes Guadia out. Like, he completely runs every, you know, aspect of his plan. And they really focus on that in the game, where it's like, this fight doesn't really matter anymore, but you're doing it anyway. You know, oh, how human of Guadia. But the anime makes it seem like Solomon's NP didn't really work and it like failed and you gotta finish the job and blah blah blah, which that's just not how it is. So it's so dumb. Like they downplay his NP so hard and it's so lame because it's like the most dramatic. I think it's probably the most dramatic part of all of FGo's story. And like I'm not one of these people that thinks FGo's story is like, oh my god, it's so good. It's really not. Like FGo's story is kind of shit. And it has a lot of downs, but it does have some ups, and that's probably the biggest up. Yeah, the fact that they butchered it is pretty fucked up. And they butchered it for such a cheap reason, just to make myself insert, you know, seem important. That I like how Ku's normal card damage is like eclipsing Mordred there, but it's because Saber Lancer. Oh my god, though. 2.0 was so disappointing, man. The finale really just wasn't anything. There was so much buildup for nothing. That whole plot was just lame. And then they're just like, it's over, but oh, filler actually. And then now it's over. Oh nope, now we're literally in filler again. Like it's just, bro. Why doesn't FGo do like real collabs? I mean, if you mean like collabs with other IP, Nasu a long time said ago they actually might eventually, but and if you mean like why their collabs are so bad with their own products now, it's because they're lazy and they don't want to animate anything. But he said basically he was like worried about it messing up the narrative and it, like people not knowing if it's canon or not and stuff like that. But he said after 2.0 is over, he might consider it. But that was a long time ago. And then he said in that interview though, if he could collab with something, he would collab with Bloodborne. I think he kind of just said from software in general. But, you know, if he could pick, he would pick Bloodborne, I think, is what he said. That was before Elden Ring, though, and I know he loves Elden Ring to death, so who knows. I don't think FromSoft would ever go for it, because frankly, I don't think there's enough integrity in Type Moon for FromSoft to do it. There's, like, not a lot of integrity with, like, both the way they handle their own storytelling and their own products, and then especially FGo, and like the way the Type Moon works with other companies and stuff. Like I don't think FromSoft would do it. At least they can be in the back row. Okay, if we got an Elden Ring collab, who would I want in? Radon. And honestly, I would not have said this until Clarity was brought, but Moog. Moog's actually awesome now. Like, dude, it's crazy how much I like Moog now that we know more about his character. And like when you hear Ansbach like talking about like, you know, the like oath he made and like the conquest of blood they wanted to go on and everything, you know, it's just awesome, dude. But Mikola sucks, so you know there's that. Well, let's see, Moog, Radon, maybe Margit, honestly. Like if you got his if you got his voice actor. Let me think. What are some other NPCs? Maybe Nefeli. She's pretty cool. Like it's a pretty cool quest line she has, and she uses axes. So yeah, probably her. It is a pretty epic quest line. Like not only with her fighting Horaloo at the end, but like with her becoming the new ruler of Storm Vale and all that. Like that's pretty cool shit. Can we wait a minute, chat? Can we all agree that the #1 pick should be the Ghost Dual Sword Knight from Castle Soul? I think he more than deserves it. But the Ansbach, yeah, holy fuck, Ansbach would be incredible. But yeah, that fucking Castle Soul Knight, dude, that's my boy. Get those glowing red eyes. Teleport behind you, all that good shit. Oh, hi, Penth. If only we had a harder version of this and you could do a little solo bit. That'd be cool. But you have to bring the dumbass, so. Patches. Yeah, that'd be the shopkeeper. That'd be awesome. Aldia is cool. Aldia is cool, but I really stand by this. He is kind of a pointless character because he's basically the lore for idiots. Every word that he says is stuff that you know from Dark Souls 1 if you pay attention. And he's basically the like, okay, if people are too stupid to pay attention in Dark Souls 1, we're just gonna lay it out here. You know, which is a little silly, but he is still cool. Will she survive for her sister to punch her in the... Nope. Definitely not. Chat, are they... So, the Tarnished Edition, I think they said, was at least adding like 4 armor sets. But we already know 3 out of 4 of them. So, who knows what that last one is. But maybe with this giant-ass delay, maybe they're gonna add more. That would be cool. I hope so. Like, they need to do something to justify this insane delay, dude. Like, what the hell? Give me, like, all the armor from the past games. Let me summon Midir or Nameless. You know, I've never been that hype about Nameless. I mean, he's okay, but Midir is pretty cool, though. That's a really cool dragon. If we're going into Dark Souls, not Elden Ring anymore, I want Pontiff. Dude, I love Pontiff's lore. It's unbelievable. Like, what an awesome character. Pontiff would be, like, super high on my list. Let's see, what else is there? We're going Dark Souls. That's tough. They have a lot more iconic characters, honestly. I mean, obviously, like, Solaire. Like, let's not lie to ourselves. That'd be pretty sick. It's almost like a generic pick, but it's just right. Yeah, Patches. Gwyn would be cool. They'll never do that, but Gwyn would be cool. Imagine where you get, like, Zeus and Gwyn, man. That'd be awesome. Ooh, Creighton. Creighton is awesome. Yeah, I love Creighton. Lautrec, obviously. Lautrec's one of my absolute favorites. Every time they use that background is so lame. Udix Gundyr. Champion Gundyr. So I stand on this. People keep saying, like, Lost said this the other day, that it's like so like obvious that you shouldn't fight Tree Sentinel. I just so disagree with that. Now, it's obvious that you don't have to fight Tree Sentinel, right? Because the game literally opens up and it's, you know, a big open field and everything. Obviously, you can go left or right and, you know, not fight him. Then the game clearly intends that. There is just nothing about Tree Sentinel's difficulty, though, that would deter you from fighting him compared to, like, Udix Gundyr. I've unironically seen people stuck on Udix Gundyr for just hours and hours and hours, right? And sure, I've seen people stuck on Tree Sentinel like that too, but there's just... He doesn't have that much health. He just doesn't. And, like, yeah, he can kill you in, like, 2 hits, but, like, so does Udix Gundyr, right? There's nothing new here. Like, it's just typical... like me and... I remember Cairo, it's like, oh, yeah, it's the first boss. That's it. It was just the first boss. That's all it was. Like, there's nothing about him that's that difficult. He literally feels like the first boss. I remember I didn't struggle a lot with Tree Sentinel, but I struggled a little bit, but it was not because he was hard or the camera. It was because I was playing on PC day 1, and the game was so badly optimized, especially where you fought Tree Sentinel, because it was between 2 loading zones, like this half of the map and that half of the map, that the game would constantly stutter like a motherfucker. This ain't an excuse. You ask anybody, that is exactly how it was day 1, dude. It was awful. Like, trying to fight Tree Sentinel was just absolutely terrible because of that. And off memory, when Elden Ring came out, I had just worked like a crazy amount, like you know, in real life. I did a whole bunch of work, and I was fucking exhausted, and I didn't sleep like super great the night before. I had to wake up really early. Does this ever happen to you where you like your sleep schedule is I normally wake up at like 10, right? And then for something important, you have to wake up at like 6, right? And it just fucks you up. And it was one of those days where I had to do that, and then I worked a lot. And so I remember I got home, I streamed a tiny bit. I think I got to Tree Sentinel, and I was so tired I couldn't like keep my eyes open. I remember telling Chad, like, guys, I gotta go sleep. I was like, I'm super excited to play this, but I was like, oh my god, I have. Was anyone here for that? Because I only streamed for like 20 minutes, so a lot of people didn't see it. But I was like, oh my god, I am exhausted. I gotta go sleep. Because even though I was like excited to play Elden Ring, you know, normally that might overpower your desire to sleep, but like, no. I was like, nope, I gotta sleep. And so I went and slept for like 5 hours or something. Then I came back and I felt fine, and then I played it for real. The thing is, I was so tired, I don't even remember what happened. I'm serious. I just remember being like, man, I'm excited to play this game, but I don't care. I was like, I'm sleeping. I don't remember how far I got. I think I got to Tree Sentinel and I just put it down. But I don't even remember. I literally don't remember. I was just way too tired. Because yeah, I had to wake up early and all that. But thankfully, I was so tired, I slept like a rock. Dude, the second I put my head down, I was gone. Like I was like deleted for a while. Then I woke up feeling great, so that was awesome. That was really cool too, because like I woke up, you know, fresh and feeling great, and then I got to just immediately, you know, play Elden Ring and enjoy Elden Ring, right? So that was a good time. But yeah, I fucking died, dude. Yeah, I'm glad someone remembers that stream, because I don't. Dude, Limgrave was great. I love the beginning of Elden Ring, because that was sick. And I remember farming that green armor set from the Knights. It was great, dude. I had a great time. But then the game does fall off a lot, and I didn't like it as much. But I mean, overall, I love Elden Ring. I really do. There's a lot wrong with it. You know, the open world doesn't really work for me. You know, the boss design just gets kind of dumb. I'm not really about it, but you know, it's got so much freedom with like the weapons you use and the weapon arts and the armor, and I love the story and everything. Like there's a lot to love. It's not perfect. It's far from perfect, but I do think there really is a lot to love about Elden Ring. Even with like, because some of its shortcomings are in areas that it's really hard for me to excuse, because I really like boss design and boss fights, and I fundamentally think their boss design is like cheap fighting game, you know, old school boss garbage, but I can still like the game anyway. And then thank God Night Rain comes out, and they make the Night Lords, which are just so much better. Like, they're just so much better. And there's a couple of like Everdark Night Lords that are kind of dumb as fuck, but for the most part, the Night Lords are. Yeah, I will say the Everdarks are pretty 50-50. Because they're trying to like one up themselves. It's like, oh, it's this boss, but now it's super hard, right? And they end up just being cheap. But yeah, I'd say the Everdarks are like 50-50 on being cheap or not. But they're a bonus, right? So it's not that big of a deal. It's like, it's okay for like a bonus boss to be cheap, I think. Maybe not ideal, but it's not like the end of the world. But yeah, Fulgor is awesome. What an awesome like spectacle. And what's his name? Gaping Dragon, Gaping Maw, excuse me. I like Gaping Maw, you know, both versions. I like Fulgor, both versions. I love the final boss. What's his name? Night Lord guy. Why am I forgetting his name? Yeah, Adele. That's right. I haven't played Night Rain in a while. What the fuck is the final boss's name? I'm gonna hear. I know it means nameless. Holster. Thank you. I knew as soon as I saw it, I was gonna be like, of course that's it. But yeah, I love Holster. He's actually one of my favorite fights ever. He's just so good. I will say he's a tiny bit cheap. There's a few attacks that your brain kind of needs to be primed to dodge it. You kind of need to know what's coming to be able to dodge it. He's not terrible about that. Or like Elden Ring is awful about that. Almost everything you have to memorize. Holster is like kind of on the edge. He has a little bit of that, but it's not that bad. I think I can put up with it. And everything else is so good that I do like Holster. He really is one of my absolute favorites. I think he's just fantastic. Are you still a Duchess Defender? I mean, I guess I've never really been a Duchess Defender. I just like she's fun. Dagger swing good. It feel like, and I think Lost is seen this, like, 'cause he started to play Duchess some. He sees what I'm saying. Her dagger is just so much fun to use. Because when you go to regular Elden Ring and you see that piece of shit dagger in that game, it's just not the same, right? It's like, because objectively the dagger moveset in regular Elden Ring isn't even that bad. It's like, you know, if you play that first, it can be fun, right? But if you play Duchess, you can't downgrade to that fucking butter knife, right? Like, fuck off. So yeah, I mean, Duchess that's the best iteration of like the dagger they've ever done. It feels great. Now, yes, her ult doesn't feel great. Her skill doesn't feel great. But, and like, this is a testament to how much more important though your moveset is. Because like, okay, Wilder. Wilder's skill is very good and feels good to use, right? Never mind how good it is. Wilder's skill feels great to use. Like, I think it feels the best to use. Wilder's ult feels amazing to use. You know, again, doesn't matter how good it is, it feels great. But I have more fun on Duchess generally. Even though her skill's not fun to use at all, her ult's not fun to use at all, but because 90% of what you're doing is your fucking weapon, right? And Wilder's awesome, don't get me wrong. Like, Wilder is my second favorite character. You know, Wilder is super fun to play. And like, the dream is you have a character where their weapon is as fun to use as Duchess's dagger, and they have a skill that's as fun to use as Wilder's skill, and the ult that's as fun to use as Wilder's ult, right? Then you have like the perfect character. Yeah, do you see it now? Lost, do you see it now, what I'm talking about with Claymore and everything? And that's actually part of why it's hard for me to enjoy Wilder. Because, so, like, if you play Duchess first, and then you try to play Dagger in Elden Ring, it's like, this is so fucking lame. This is such a downgrade. Everyone else has been using Claymore this entire time, right, in all these games, right, and with the awesome R2, and then you get into fucking Night Rain, and it's like, what is this shit, right? Because, like, if Wilder's greatsword is the first greatsword you see, it's fine. It's, like, objectively a fine weapon. But it is so much lamer than Claymore in every other game that it's like, okay, fuck this shit. Like, it's so hard to play him because of that. Yeah, dude, if Wilder had the regular Claymore moveset, he would just be the best damn thing, dude. And like, I wish Lost you could have PvP'd throughout the franchise, because, you know, you got into the franchise when like most of the franchise was out, and which that's kind of fun too, right? Like having all the games to go through. But it is different when you like, because a lot of people only got into the PvP because they eventually like cracked. It was like, okay, I might as well try it, and they ended up liking it. Not everybody. But so like when it was just Dark Souls 1 and you get your fill of it, it's kind of like, well, I guess I'll try the PvP, right? And Claymore throughout the ages and like how it's fit into the PvP, right, has just been really awesome and unique. And so yeah, like that Claymore just has such a special place in the player base's heart. And PvP is definitely part of it. And it's just, yeah, it's hard to like recapture that now. But yeah, Wilder is a real letdown when it comes to that. You didn't PvP that much in Dark Souls 2 though, because I have. I mean, all of the games, there's a huge difference between the games after they've been out for 10 years versus when they come out in like the first year or so. It's just totally different. And you know, all of the games have twinks and, you know, dumb shit like that. And also, you got like stream sniped by people that just coincidentally happen to be cool, because that's such a small sample size. That's like going to the ocean with a glass of water and scooping up some water and being like, guys, there's no whales in the ocean. Look, here's my data with my cup here, right? That doesn't work, right? Because I've PvP'd for an ungodly amount in every single one of these games. And look, literally go watch someone that streams invading in Dark Souls 2, right? And you see the level of degeneracy they're doing. And like all the manipulating they're doing with the soul memory and everything. It's fucking disgusting. Like there's cool invaders and bad invaders in all of the games. But however, actually though, with Dark Souls 3, believe me, I love Dark Souls 3, but its PvP has become like the worst version of the game now. You know, it was great back in the day, but like, oh my god, Dark Souls 3's PvP scene is really bad now. And it's because it has like, I don't even know how to describe Dark Souls 3. Oh my god. It has so many like dumb glitches and all these like ridiculous things you can do under the hood to give yourself an unfair advantage. And it attracts these people that think they're like, they think they're like the Bruce Lee of PvP and Souls and stuff. It's really, really dumb. Oh my god, I always forget about Demon Souls. Oh my god. There's no competition. Demon Souls is even with like Dark Souls 2 soul memory manipulation and editing your save file with soul memory and all that. Oh my god, Demon Souls is so much worse. Oh my god. No one understands except for the people that have seen it. Oh my god, dude. Like it got, oh my god, it got so prevalent. Motherfuckers could invade you and then spam headbutt and just stun lock you for 30 hours if they wanted to. And you couldn't, there's literally no, and you could do it to them too. Because I was very good at the PvP in Demon Souls. But oh my god, the PvP scene is like people intentionally not using the powerful tools available to them. Because it's like they have to ban everything in duels. Because if you play seriously, the game is not about any of the good shit in PvP. Right? It's fucking scraping spear and endless headbutt stun lock and oh my god. And there is so much wrong with the PvP in that game. Yeah, I've done Bloodborne's PvP the least, but I've done it. But I already knew it was trash. I knew it was because I've watched like Ouroboros and them do it. I can't stand Bloodborne PvP defenders. They drive me nuts, dude. It's like you can't see the forest for the trees, man. I mean, most of the games have bad PvP. It's a cool idea, the mix of PvP and PvE and hunter, prey, and protectors and all the organic stuff. Like the idea of the PvP is awesome. Now there are some cool shit. Like even Dark Souls 2 has good duels when you're at the right level range and stuff. You know, there are some cool things that go on in the PvP. Don't get me wrong, but you know these games have never really mastered themselves, right? They really haven't figured out their PvP. Yeah, look, Bloodborne on PC isn't actually Bloodborne, right? Because that's not the game. And FromSoft has never graced us with a remaster to change the game into something that's better, right? You know, that's the fans doing a bunch of work to like change the game into a better state. But Bloodborne is a game that has terrible frame rate. It has, you know, horrible UI. It has horrible loading. It has like the way they make you go back to the base all the time in the treasure or in the chest, like in the building to get your consumable. Like that's the game, right? That they designed it that way, and they thought it was okay for it to be 30 frames per second and all these things, and it's not even 30 frames per second a lot of the time. And yeah, it's just bad. It's just super bad. And there's like Bloodborne is such a weird game for me because it was, you know, I've played all the Souls games except for Bloodborne until I finally got around to playing it. But I played all the Souls games for a long time except for Bloodborne. It was the only one I hadn't played for a very, very long time. And I made sure to not watch streams of it and videos of it. I avoided like the plague to not be spoiled for years. And then on the one hand, it has such cool lore and atmosphere. And, you know, some of the level design has this kind of like fun, like hack and slash, kind of like old school video game, like progression, you know, kind of tearing through the level and all that. And that's cool. But, oh my God, there's just so much wrong. It's just the game runs like trash. The navigation is trash. The having to go to the chest to get the consumables is trash. Like, there is just, these are not small things, man. These are fundamental, like, structural problems with the game. Yeah, I think Lost is very correct about that. The like Dark Souls 2, it's fun. Any of the games are gonna be fun to experience the first time, but like what really shows them as a good game, I think, is if you want to go back and replay them and you want to keep enjoying them, and you're just no one in the right. Because Lost, even with your trolling bullshit that you say, you would never be like, oh yeah, with a serious face, the movement in Dark Souls 2 is the best in the series. Like, of course it's not. Like, the movement in Dark Souls 2 is just the worst by far. So like if I want to have that experience of like dodging and rolling and learning boss patterns and, you know, have fun in a fantasy RPG, why do I want it to be in the movement system of Dark Souls 2? Like why would I want that? Like, that makes no sense. Yeah, there's nothing special about it. It does have good armor. I've always conceded that point, that the And you probably didn't do, there's so much hidden stuff in Dark Souls 2. You probably missed a lot of the fashion. There's a lot of hidden content in Dark Souls 2 and like really obtuse ways that you get fashion. And like also really rare drops from enemies. Look, even when games feel a bit floaty, at least they're responsive. I think responsiveness trumps something being floaty by like 1,000,000%. I mean, Dark Souls 2 is so fucking everything's so like delayed and clunky. It just because like Dark Souls 1, look at Dark Souls 1. Dark Souls 1 is the slowest and the most deliberate in the franchise, but it still feels totally fine to play, and that's because it's responsive. Dark Souls 2 is not responsive. You spin the stick around and you watch how your character's moving, and that shit ain't right. Where like that's, you know, Dark Souls 1, it's like even though you're really slow, it feels fine, right? Because it's fine to be like, you know, Dark Souls 3 is not my cup of tea, but you have to admit it's still fucking responsive. And then and you could say Dark Souls 1's even better because if you don't like that level of speed and everything, you have Dark Souls 1 that is, you know, maybe not quite as responsive, but really close to as responsive. Right, where Dark Souls 1 though is the problem with all the games with some of the like queued inputs and like the way it detects running and rolling on the same button. Even Elden Ring has that problem. I've not played King of Fighters 4. I'd be interested to play that just to see, because I bet you I don't know what you're talking about, but I bet you when I play it, I'll instantly be like, yeah, that's like Dark Souls 2. I bet you it'll be really obvious like that. I would say Elden Ring has the best movement. No, Night Rain. Excuse me. Night Rain has the best movement in the franchise, and I would say by a lot. And the only thing holding Night Rain back from like almost being perfect with its controls and movement is there's legacy inputs from like the core games, like regular Elden Ring, that really hurt it. Like the fact that the vanilla run is still in the game, so you have to release the button for it to detect the dodge input. That's still terrible, right? And you have like the block button for most of the characters shouldn't be there. The block button should do your character specific action, like the super block on the burb and stuff like that, right? So you don't have, and like the parry for Executor, so you don't have to do like all these like weird inputs, right? Having to click like 3 buttons to do a parry and stuff like that. So all the legacy stuff needs to be removed. It's so bad for Night Rain. Like, it really is a big fucking mistake. Oh, Kingsfield, not King of Fighters. Excuse me. Kingsfield 4 has a movement patch to make it a dual analog controls and removes the move block. I've heard, doesn't Dark Souls 2 have a mod like that too? Yeah, I super agree. Night Rain is the best piece of shit I've ever played. Like, it's literally a piece of shit. Some of the, like, the control scheme is so dumb the way they did it. Allowing those legacy systems to creep in was so dumb and pointless. Like having, you know, the vanilla block on some of these characters instead of using that button input for something more meaningful. That was such a bad decision. Every roguelike element, I agree with Lost. I don't think I'm being hyperbolic. I'm sure there's worse out there, but in terms of its roguelike systems, it's the worst one I've ever played. It's amateur. It's amateur in how they handle the roguelike systems. It's like a bad college project. Not a good one, it's a bad college project. They really fucked up their roguelike systems. They did a terrible job. They're just saved by how great, you know, the Night Lords are and how fun the running around is and all that shit. And like to the core, like Soulsy stuff that's good. They're just completely bailed out by all that. How have I not beaten a single mission? I beat like weekly stuff, but I didn't actually beat I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish up. I can't stand mission events, dude, because you can't just like grind through it and get it over with, man. I can't stand it. Like, it is so annoying doing these events. Like, all I want to do is get Hippolyta to NP5 and Halvar Ascension stuff. I don't give a fuck about anything else in this event. Let's get some AoE here. I have not played Liza P, but I can guarantee you I'm not gonna like it. I hate the aesthetic, and it's basically taking the aspect. It's removing all the aspects of Elden Ring that I like, and then and focusing solely on the aspects of Elden Ring I don't like. I've heard from enough people that I trust to know what the fuck they're talking about. Because no offense, but most people out there, they wouldn't know the difference between Dark Souls 3 boss design and Elden Ring boss design. They literally don't know the difference. It's all trial and error to them, but it's not to me, and I know the fucking difference. And other people that I know also know the difference. They're like, yeah, no, Liza P is just the worst aspects of Elden Ring, literally all the time. Like, I'm so not interested in Liza P. I'm happy for people that like it, but I hate the aesthetic. And look, I have no interest in playing a Souls-like where I don't get to customize my character. That's such a... Look, I want... My favorite thing about the Souls games, and I'm not exaggerating in the slightest, I'm actually probably underselling this. I don't think I can actually express how much I care about this. When Elden Ring was coming out, or if Elden Ring 2 comes out, the number one thing I'm thinking about, oh my god, I'm so excited. I get to make a cool guy in medieval plate armor and use a regular battle axe and beat the shit out of things. I hope this time the battle axe is good. That's what I'm thinking every time. My brain is obsessed with that thought every time leading up to the game. That's what I care about. I don't care about all this other stupid bullshit everyone else cares about, right? And I want to enjoy some good boss fights. And yeah, every time you have one of these games come out where you don't get to customize your character and you have to play a fucking weeb with a katana, I don't care. Because look, I'm sorry, I like Ninja Gaiden a hell of a lot more gameplay-wise than Souls games. I like OG, like Vindictus, way more than all the Souls games in terms of gameplay. You know, the new Vindictus game coming out, I like way more gameplay-wise than all of the Souls games. Right? I like Slay the Spire, really different game, but I like Slay the Spire gameplay-wise way more than all the Souls games, right? So if you're not offering me the ability to make an awesome dude in cool medieval armor and use a regular, not fantasy, but a regular ass axe, I'm not interested. Because I can get better gameplay elsewhere. That's why I don't care about Sekiro, because if I want to play a cool action game just for the gameplay, then I'm gonna go play Ninja Gaiden Black, right? I'm gonna go play, you know, like Vindictus Defying Fate when it comes out, or whatever the fuck, right? I'm gonna play Devil May Cry. I'm not gonna play fucking Sekiro, right? And it's the same with Liza P. It's like, and like, what I really, people have really conflated difficulty with like good design. A lot of these fucking games are designed like ass, and they think they're good because they're hard. That means nothing, right? Like, a lot of these bosses in like Elden Ring, especially the DLC, and like, you know, fucking Consort Radon and Liza P from what I've heard and stuff like that. These bosses aren't well designed. They're literally cheap bullshit. It's literally, let's make something like an old school fighting game boss that's cheating, right, and has unfair frame data. You have like it's unfair of what we're asking of you with the telegraphing we're giving you. So you're gonna have to memorize it and beat it through memorization, right? That's what these games are now. I'm not interested in that. That's not good. And I've seen that so many times. It's boring. It's like, yes, you are strong arming me to prevent me from beating this in 1 or 2 tries, and you are contriving a forced like design to make me have to do it over and over again to memorize it, right? I'm so bored of that. I have absolutely no interest in playing that. So like when I see like, you know, all these Souls games where you have no character customization, no PvP, right? None of this shit I'm actually interested in. I just like, why? I don't give a fuck. Almost every Souls-like I've ever played, I think is garbage. I think is garbage. And like, when I say Souls-like, I don't mean, you know, From Software. I mean all the people copying From Software. Basically, every game I've ever played that is copying From Software and trying to be like Dark Souls, they're all dog shit. And some of them are like bearable and kind of okay. Like I kind of like Neo. And I kind of like Lords of the Fallen after 10 million patches to fix it up. But even those aren't that great. And like Lords of the Fallen still has terrible level design that like is trying to be complicated for the sake of being complicated. It's like fucking Code Vein with that stupid cathedral level where they're trying to make it complicated to be like Dark Souls, but it's just absolute garbage, right? That's all Soulslikes, right? They're just in a shallow way trying to be like Elden Ring and Dark Souls and all that, and they're just totally failing to understand the nuance of any of it, and it's garbage. I think Souls-like are it's like one of the worst game genres to ever exist. I think they're so bad. And most people wouldn't think that because I like, Dark Souls a lot, and I like Dark Souls 3 a lot, and that kind of stuff. But, that's because those things actually have good level design, for fuck's sakes, and they have character customization. And, like, I really like the PvP, in the early days. Obviously, once it gets min-maxed and people start cheating and glitching and all that, then it's not, like, so great anymore. But, I really like the PvP, for the first, like, year or so. And, I really like being able to use an axe and make my character, enjoy the RPG aspects of it. And then sometimes they have good boss fights too. Right, and that's what I like out of this shit. But yeah, Liza P just looks awful. It's like you just stripped out everything good about the series. And I swear there's all these gamers growing up now that they think it's like a personality trait that they beat Elden Ring or they beat Liza P or whatever. It's cringe as fuck, man. And especially because it's like the difficulty that these games offer is so contrived. Like to me, it's like it's so fucking fake. And you got all these people like they put their pride in beating Elden Ring and stuff. And I'm like, bro, like one, they're not actually that hard, and unless you like play them in a very specific way. And then two, whatever happened to actually enjoying something. And like oftentimes difficulty is an important part of enjoying something. I don't enjoy like super easy games. Those have no depth, and I can't enjoy like a super easy game at all. Like no way. But I think being difficult is very good. I actually think being difficult is like very, very good for games. But you can't just be difficult for the sake of being difficult. You have to be artful about it, right? Like Armored Core 6 is artful in the way it uses difficulty. And a lot of times a lot of Soulslikes are very cheap, and they're just like, okay, the objective is to be challenging, so just do whatever you can to make it challenging, and they end up just doing cheap stuff. And like, frankly, Souls games, the combat formula of like Dark Souls is not complicated enough to make a boss like that difficult in the long run without being cheap. That's why the games evolved into being really cheap, because the formula is just really simplistic. Yeah, I'm sorry, it is. You have light attack, strong attack, no combos between those two things, and you just dodge. You just have iframe. You just click. It's just a rhythm thing, right? They don't have perfect block mechanics. The pairing mechanics are super shallow. They don't have like Ninja Gaiden has like reasons for you to be in the air and reasons to not be in the air, right? So that adds a lot of depth to what you're doing. Right, you have combos that matter. There's a reason why you want to do combo X instead of combo Y. It's not just damage optimization. It's just there's actual like effects on how the enemy moves based on like what combos you do. There's just a lot more mechanically going on in like Devil May Cry or Ninja Gaiden to allow for you to be able to do more like with the boss design. For Souls games, the gameplay is so fucking simple that you can't, and that's fine. Not every game needs to be like Ninja Gaiden. They don't. It's okay that Dark Souls is a lot simpler. It's totally okay. But then you can't like keep trying to crank the difficulty to feed people's ego, right? Because that's what it is. People want to feel like, oh, I'm such a badass for beating this. But then you realize actually Dark Souls is actually really easy. It was actually just figuring out the systems and learning what the game wanted of me, right? So then once you already know that, then the games that follow aren't hard. So in order to like make the games hard, oh man, but when I fought, Ornstein and Smough back in the day, it took me like 10 tries. In order to emulate that, to make it take 10 tries again, they just make the bosses cheap. And like, once you see that, it falls so flat. I just can't enjoy them. So whenever I see the other Soulslikes, the non-From, because I can still enjoy the From Software ones, because like, well, hey, at least, did I bring battery? I did, but I can be like, hey, at least, they got the good lore and the good music, and all the customization and the good level design, right? So like I can put up with it and I can still enjoy it. But Jesus Christ, the other companies that make Souls-like, I'm like, holy fuck, dude. Lords of the Fallen is probably my favorite, because they kind of lean into the hack and slash angle, which I kind of have a soft spot for, because I grew up when I was really young. I playing Gauntlet Dark Legacy, right? And so I kind of like that kind of old school hack and slash going through the level kind of thing. And also Lords of the Fallen has fucking awesome armor. Like there's some pros to Lords of the Fallen. However, yeah, the lantern thing is such a dumbass gimmick. It's literally them being like, look, this is the reason to play our game instead of playing Dark Souls, but it's so shallow. The lantern is so fucking annoying. Instead of just killing this enemy, you have to use the lantern on them, then kill the enemy. Instead of walking across this bridge, you have to use the lantern to see the bridge and then walk across. Like, it's just so fucking lame. And I beat all Lords of the Fallen. I beat the game, and the lantern was always dumb. Yeah, fuck the lantern, and then the level design's pretty crap. It's like trying too hard to be complicated. To be, oh, look guys, we're like Dark Souls, and it's shit. Like, they need to lean into what they're good at. I want badass armor. I want character customization. And they have some cool character customization, like build options and different spells and ways to play your character. But yeah, I want all that, and then I want them to focus more on the cool enemies and the fun. Like, you can be way more linear, man. Like, just let me progress through cool dungeon rooms, maybe some traps and stuff, and fight all these cool enemies and hack and slash my way through. That's what I want out of Lords of the Fallen. Every time they try to be like Dark Souls, I'm like, fuck off. Like, you guys suck at this. That's how I feel about all the Souls ripoffs. Is they just suck at doing what FromSoft does. They're not good at doing the intriguing world and the lore and the cool level exploration and stuff. They suck at that stuff, and so stop trying. Like, Jesus Christ. But Liza P fans, please, by all means, defend it to me. Like, tell me why you like it. Like, maybe I'm missing something, right? It's like, because the thing is, you can love something to death for valid reasons, and I won't love it, but I can still see the reasons why other people like it, right? I get why, like, you know, a young girl might like fucking Barbie Simulator or whatever, but, you know, that doesn't mean I'm gonna like it. But, like, you know, I'm sure there are reasons to enjoy life, and I'm sure there's reasons to like the memorization style version of boss fights, right? It's not for me though. I know Liza P is one of the more liked not from software Souls-like games. Also, if someone can defend to me why we got a not Fate Strange Fate character, it's not like we got like 6 Fate Strange Fate characters or 4 Fate Strange Fate characters, and then we got 1 OC lol. But no, we got 2 Fate Strange Fate characters and 1 you've never heard of him character. Why is that the Fate Strange Fate collab? What's the defense here? Like, hell, I'll take devil's advocate at this point. Like, what the fuck was the point of this? I wonder if this is the stage I'm supposed to be doing. Beastly, do you realize you are like solely responsible? I was watching this guy that makes Gundam videos, and in the background he was playing the music from the From Software Gundam game, right? That, you know, you ripped from the game and put on the internet. And I've seen a lot of people, I've seen other people post the song, and I know they're using that version of the song because, like, I actually put a little secret in there that I can detect. And sometimes they even have the thumbnail that I put, because they think it's just the picture of the cover, but it's not. I put the From Software logo off to the side, and I see them using that, so I can tell that's where they got it from. And so it's like, I've noticed the entirety of that song on the internet is from Beastly Whale ripping it from the game. And I'll hear people use it as like chill background music, you know, and their videos and stuff like that. And I know it's all from Beastly, and it's just so funny because, like, it literally wouldn't be out there if Beastly didn't do that, because it was such an unloved game underground, yada yada, and they never released the soundtrack and stuff. I'm glad I could help people discover the song. Yeah, I know, because it really is good. Like, dude, it's almost like Frequency is awesome. Yeah, I had someone say, I guess you just really like video game music, and I'm like, no, I like good music. Because Frequency does music, they put out standalone, you know, albums and stuff. And, you know, it's all Armored Core styled and stuff. It's all very Armored Core-y, right? And some of it's even remixes of Armored Core music and stuff. And I like it. It doesn't have to be from a video game. I just want it to be good. Yeah, I saw that you did that. You ripped the emblems and stuff. It's awesome. Beastly did a great service to the internet, though, by getting that music out there. This song just sounds like it's from Doom Eternal. Like, just so much so. Dude, I need to play. Dude, Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer are so good. I need to stream them again. Because I've played them enough times. Like, I've replayed them several times. Like, my memory is good. They hold up very well. But yeah, they're hard to... I don't have a controller is the problem. I have a 360 that works. And, like, I just clean the fan and stuff and it still works great. But yeah, they gotta get those old games on PC, man. Like, it sucks. Like, Armored Core, and like, I'm worried that they're gonna remaster it in a way where they change a bunch of stuff, because they're gonna change the voice acting and all this kind of stuff, and I love the voice acting in Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer, and I think they really nailed it on some stuff. They got some of the translations a little off here and there, but that's not important enough to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And actually, I'll die on this hill. I think a lot of the English for Armored Core 4 Answer and Armored Core 4 is better than the Japanese. Like, I think Joshua O'Brien is way better in English. I know they made some mistakes and stuff, but it's like I don't think his voice really works in the Japanese version, because it's actually the voice actor for Kodamine, and especially that final mission, it just doesn't work. I really don't think it works. I think it works way better in English, and like Berlioz I think is way better in English. I mean, I'll never complain about people sending me controllers. Where do you people find this shit? Because I look online and it's all garbage. I can never find. But yeah, if I have a 360 controller, I'll stream Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer immediately. Like, literally the only reason I'm not playing them to show them to like Lost and everybody is just because I can't find. I can find some online that are really expensive, but I don't trust that they're any good. Like, I found some third-party ones, and some people swear by them. But look. I can't be the only one. I've seen people swear by third-party controllers for like the 360 before, and then bought them and they sucked, right? So like, I have no trust in this. Also, I know some people find stuff like in real life, but where I live, we don't really have like cool tech shops and stuff with like old video games and stuff. That just is, they don't really have that out here. Because if we did, I would do that all the time. I love going outside, so you know. That's the thing. Japanese auction site, and I pay a proxy. Jesus, that's a level of dedication right there. Oh damn, no starting in P. That's maybe farther than I'm willing to go. Smart though. Yeah, that makes sense. If you do want to do like speed runs on the original hardware, you have to do that. It's so sad, like this technology is being lost, because a lot of it's not complicated. Like, if we, if we put effort into preserving these things, we definitely could. But we really, I'm disappointed in the video game industry and how little effort it puts into preserving its art. Because the film industry doesn't do that. The music industry doesn't do that. The literal art scene doesn't do that. Video games are so unique and almost intentionally making it annoying to preserve the medium. It's honestly just the lamest thing. Yeah, thanks, Beastly. And I can wire you the money and stuff, like, no problem. But yeah, if I could get a 360 controller that actually works, I'll stream Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer right away. The question is, like, what do you want, Lost, and other people here that want to see Armored Core stuff? Because Armored Core 4 Answer is better than Armored Core 4 in every way, like gameplay-wise. But it's not really. It's amazing with music and all and everything. But like Armored Core 4 is its own thing, you know, with like the way they did the music and the story and everything. And the stories are very connected. They're like crazy connected. It's so weird though. I don't understand, like. This is why I have a hard time starting with 4. I love 4 to death. Like, from my perspective, Armored Core 4 is fucking awesome. Berlioz is my favorite thing. Ray Leonard's the best faction, right? Like, all that stuff. The problem is, I have this thing called objectivity. I know what things look like to an untrained eye. And Armored Core 4 is so weird because most of the story you don't understand until you play Armored Core 4 Answer. It's like, you're like, what do you mean the story's good, right? None of it makes any sense, right? It's like, it's so, Armored Core 4 is the weirdest thing on like, in the series. Like, Armored Core 4 Answer, to an untrained eye, is a much more complete package. The story makes sense enough. Things are, you know, presented in your face kind of way enough, right? The controls are better, the gameplay's better, right? So it's so much, it's smoother. Armored Core 4 is smoother in every way possible. Yeah, I know some of the localization is fucked up, and there's a lot of mistakes. Like one of Berlioz's voice lines doesn't play. It literally doesn't play. Like, the text will come up, but the voice line doesn't play. There's a lot of there's a lot of like just whoops stuff like that. I still love it, mind you, because like I think Berlioz's voice actor is just great, and I think he fits the character way better. Because like when you look at Berlioz's voice lines in both English and Japanese, he's like strict and intimidating, but fair and almost chill in a way, right? He's kind of like he's a very unique character like that, where like he's very confident, but he's not cocky, right? That really is Berlioz. He's super confident. He's earned his spot as #1, and you know he speaks with confidence, but he's not cocky. He's not condescending. And he's in Japanese. It's not like he's not like that. It's just his voice is so like almost evil in the Japanese, where in English he has like a hint of being chill almost, right? Which I think works a lot better. And there's just like a lot of stuff like that where I think the English really nailed it. But yeah, the English does fuck up where they get like they switch around voice actors a couple times because they got shit confused, and literally some of the voice lines don't play, right? There's so many things that are like fucked up about it. Yeah, like I know the Joshua O'Brien stuff. They fucked up that stuff. Yeah, it's I know what's supposed to be said versus what's said. But the thing is, again, to me, it's worth it. I totally understand this is why Armored Core 4 is hard, because it requires, and this is like bad. You shouldn't require this. You basically need a guide. You need like Beastly Whale or someone in chat to be like, that voice line was fucked up, by the way, and it's supposed to be this. And like that, you need someone to like fill in the mistakes, because like I think Joshua's voice actor is really good, right? And I think the final mission with Joshua is so good in English, it's like worth it with all the other shit. It sucks, man. Armored Core 4 is like one of my favorite stories ever, but it's told so badly, and it's so unclear until you play Armored Core 4 Answer. But like what's actually happened, I would love a good like anime of Armored Core 4. Like, I adore the actual story and, like, the character motivations. It's so hard to know what the character motivations are, though, unless you, like, play 4 and 4 Answer and then sit down and, like, go through the corporations and what they're about and read all the bios and stuff. Because it doesn't hit the same if someone just reads it out to you, right? Like, if I just tell you what's motivating this character, right, that's not going to be the same. And it sucks because, like, the actual stuff that's there is so good. It's just part of old From Software games. It's true. You're correct. It's not like it's only Armored Core 4. It's kind of all of them. And it's a mix of localizations being fucked up and also From Software being obtuse. And Armored Core, you got to give it to Armored Core 4 though, because it's not like the made Armored Core 4 and then we're like, oh, let's expand on it with 4 Answer and like try to find ways to tie it in. They very much knew that they were making Armored Core 4 Answer later, right? Because you have like the prototype arms forts being made in Armored Core 4 that you can see, right? And like, you never really get what Ray Leonard is doing in Armored Core 4, but then it's like you really get it in Armored Core 4 Answer if you're paying attention. And then when you go back, and it's like, oh, that makes sense, right? It all lines up really well. So they definitely planned it, and I respect that. But oh my god, it's such a mess. Like, if you just see Armored Core 4, that's not gonna, like, win you over on, like, why I like Gen 4 so much, right? It really is the package deal of Armored Core 4 and 4 Answer that makes it, like, the best thing in gaming I've ever played. Stop talking! Fuck! Can't even skip, dude. And hey, Pot. Yeah, from what I understand, a lot of the stuff in Armored Core 4, the localization that's good, came about almost by accident because Sega wasn't like really paying attention. So some of the good voice acting, because I think Joshua O'Brien's voice actor is like great, and Berlioz is great, even though like some of the actual, you know, localization stuff is messed up, but like they actually fit the characters super well, and I think they voiced their lines super well. But that like happened on accident because from what I understand, Sega didn't really want to pay top dollar, and they didn't want to look around for talent, so they got random guys from radio, and those guys happened to be really good. Because yeah, some guys in radio are very good with their voices, and they have like a vibe and like sound to their voice that you're not going to hear from a lot of like anime voice actors and stuff. Because they're not like, the guy that does Berlioz is not a voice actor that like knows the like anime cliches and like does a lot of the anime cadence with his voice. He doesn't, because he doesn't do anime, right? He does radio. But because of that, he fits Berlioz really fucking well, right? And yeah, there's a lot of that just randomly happened with Armored Core 4 that I actually really like. Yeah, so the Souls games got it a lot better because Miyazaki cared so... It's because of Dark Souls and Demon Souls. So originally when they came out, they didn't have Japanese, right? They were made ground up with the English voice acting, right? They did not have Japanese voice acting. And there's like this like small... I know Beastly knows who they are, I always forget, but there's like this small company that they've always worked with, and they're like a small theater company or something like that. And they work super closely with From Software to make sure that FromSoft can really communicate to the voice actors and really get the nuance in there, right? And because like the detail matters, and Miyazaki really cared about that, so they worked crazy closely with these actors, and you know, most of them are stage actors, and some of them have done some like minor, like Patches' voice actor has done like some minor film roles and stuff like that, but yeah, he's mostly a stage actor and stuff like that. But yeah, FromSoft has worked with them like super closely. Those are like the exact people they wanted and whatnot. And so yeah, the voice acting for the English voice acting anyway for the Souls games is like super excellent because of that. And it's really funny. It's so excellent that all the Soulslikes fail miserably at trying to emulate it. Have you guys seen like... There'll be like mods. Every fucking mod I've seen for Souls games where they get voice actors is so cringe. Oh my god, it's so cringe. And it's because they're not... Okay. So that voice actor in Armored Core 4 playing Berlioz does really well because he's not trying to emulate anime voice actors. He's just using his talent as a radio guy, and that fits really well for Berlioz's character, right? That's why it's really good. The voice actors for Souls games are not trying to emulate other voice actors from Souls games. These are stage actors and things like that that are already very talented individuals that are being hired because the guy that did Margit did not know anything about Souls games, right? He was hired because the way he's like done other roles and like done acting and stuff. FromSoft is like, dude, this guy is the kind of like presence and voice that we want. So he's hired to do the kind of like acting and stuff that he's already doing. They're not telling him go watch the other Souls games and try to voice act like that. No. Do the thing that you're already doing, right? So he's being hired for himself, right? Yeah, no, Margaret's voice actor is absolutely incredible. Like unbelievable how good he is. But yeah, he's not being brought in to emulate the vibe of other Souls games. And that's the thing, because like Lautrec is such a fundamentally different kind of vibe and character than like Oswald or Margit, right? Every time I see a fucking mod for Dark Souls, they're just like wannabe voice actors trying to emulate other Souls voice actors, and it sucks. They're trying to like, they're not trying to be a good actor or, you know, a Shakespearean actor that's being brought in or anything like that. They're literally trying to just fit in and be like the other Souls voice actors. Margot's voice actor isn't trying to fit in with the other Souls voice actors. He's not trying to do that at all. He doesn't even know about them, right? And that's very noticeable to me. And so every time I see a mod or a Souls-like, right, a game copying Dark Souls, it's so obvious that they're trying to like emulate and copy this like deep, awesome, you know, voice acting, but they're failing to realize the voice acting is really good, not because of these like they're like trying to copy like shallow cadence in the voice and inflections, and that's not what makes it good. What makes it good is because From Software is working so closely with this small company that's like really good with acting and voice acting and you know, the arts. And so they know, you know, the right person for the job, and they know the vibe that character demands and like the nuance to it, right? And they're not being shallow, right? And you have all these other Souls-like games trying to copy the end result in a shallow way, and it sucks. Which, this is a great parallel to why the gameplay sucks too in most Souls-likes. But yeah, that really falls so flat to me, is every time I see these other games and mods trying to copy the awesome acting that happens with the FromSoft. Because like, I've got issues with like Dark Souls 2 and stuff, but dude, the voice acting for Pate and Creighton and all that, I mean, it's incredible. And like, and Lucatiel, it's incredible, right? It's absolutely incredible. But yeah, anytime I see a mod, it's, oh god, I really can't stand it. Yeah, I don't know a lot about the Xenoblade dub, but I've heard that they did something like that. That's happened a few times. Yeah, stage actors oftentimes translate very well to voice acting, because you need to project your voice, and a lot of times people won't be able to see the nuanced expression on your face and the nuanced movement with your body and stuff, and so they need to hear it in your voice. So that obviously translates to voice acting very well. And I'm gonna be honest, I generally speaking, like, a good stage actor will have absolutely no problem acting in a film, because frankly, it's just easier. All the conveniences of film are just a crutch. It's not like better, it's just easier, right? So if you can stage act well and be like a master of that kind of acting, you're not going to have a problem voice acting, and you're not going to have a problem acting in movies and stuff, because it's just easier. And that's why a lot of times when, you know, people do want like a you know, a really good voice acting job, or a really good, like, you might have a big movie where they're like, man, we need an actor that no one knows. It's like important for this character that they're not a recognizable face, but we need them to have good acting chops. They always go to, you know, theater actors. Let's see. Yeah, even with the issues I have with Elden Ring, like, man, they killed it with the voice acting. And I've heard from this is really disappointing to me. I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed that like Margit's voice actor's not doing Margit in the movie, which that's dumb as fuck, because he's obviously gonna be a CGI character and stuff. And like Ronnie's voice actor's not doing like, what? Why would you, like, you can't make the whole cast be in the whole movie, and that's fine. But like, I think you absolutely should get Margit's voice actor to do Margit and stuff like that. I think that's such a mistake. And I think they're thinking if some things are going to be different, everything should be different. But I think some things just need to be the same. I think people will accept the other voices changing and stuff like that, or that are gonna have more normal actors. But where you can get the voice actors, I think you should. I mean, dude, like, those are such iconic voices. Like, come the fuck on. I don't think they're just getting a bunch of popular actors. From what's leaked and been announced, they're mostly people that do have acting chops and stuff. Like, they're focusing more on these actors know what they're doing more so than this person's popular. So they don't seem to be doing that. So at least that's good. Yeah, we'll see. And the movie might suck. Totally could. It doesn't look like it's cheap Hollywood slop though. Like the some of the sets and stuff is leaked, and it's pretty high quality stuff. So we'll see. However, this happens sometimes where, like, a movie ultimately sucks, but they happen to have a really talented prop department, or a really talented, you know, CG department and stuff like that. an example a lot of people have used in the past anyway, a long time ago. But like the Alien versus Predator movie wasn't particularly good, but the cinematography was amazing, right? That shit happens, right? Like so who knows? We'll just have to see. Yeah, I'll give it a chance, but if I had to bet on it, I'd probably be like, yeah, I feel like it's more likely to just be some dumb shit. I don't know. The one thing that gives me some hope is that Miyazaki personally greenlit it. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for Miyazaki. And dude, look, Miyazaki's picky as fuck. I mean, FromSoft denies working with people all the time. They don't allow like cheap, you know, shit to be made with their stuff. You know, they're not going to collab with FGO, for example. And you know, they got all the IP rights to Elden Ring. They bought it from Bamco. And I know the guy that is like behind making it sat down with Miyazaki, had a meeting with Miyazaki, and showed him like concept art and talked to him, and he convinced Miyazaki. And I from what I've seen, Miyazaki is not an easy sell. Like, he is not. So I think there is some, you know, weight to the fact that Miyazaki was like, okay, you know, this I'll allow this. You know, this is all right. I should have done this for the extra NP gain. But it's, you know, he might have, you know, be like, okay, this is a good idea, but that doesn't mean it's actually going to be executed well. So we'll see. Oh yeah, a lot of people don't like the Hollywood environment and stuff, obviously. Yeah, I mean, I would say Hollywood misses a lot more than it hits, for sure. But it's not like Hollywood's never made a good film, right? Like that's just being ridiculous. You know, sometimes good things do get made. I would just like to say Percival's NP is real cool. And that's still the best horse in the Fate franchise. There's some steep competition there. Alexander the Great's horse is awesome. Hippolyta's horse is awesome. You obviously have the gorilla memes. I think number 2 is Alexander's. I really do. And like, especially in the book of Fate Zero, like, Gil is being substantially more serious versus Alexander. I think the only other time he's that serious is in gets in Kidu. That's it. And his individual use of Gate of Babylon, well, that one time he wrecks Artoria when she's on her date, you know, that's like some serious stuff. But like, he's really being serious against Alexander. And you want to talk about being doomed, but boy, that horse didn't give a fuck. So he's pretty awesome, and he kind of consistently just has Alexander's back. You know, he's just as loyal as any of the soldiers, so he is pretty fucking awesome. I know Lance Artoria's horse is awesome too. Like the Bond CE, you know, it's awesome. And then you've got Gwane's horse, who's kind of a meme, you know, thinking that Gwane's a gorilla and all that. You know, everyone knows that one. Poor Ushi's horse, dude. That, man, they really hate that thing. Yeah, I wonder if you could get the whole player base to really look at the information about each of the horses and then, you know, vote on which is their favorite. I do wonder who would win. I will say, you know, she's the new kid on the block for people seeing the anime, but Hippolyta's horse is pretty badass. Though they did change it. He does get hurt quite badly in the book. Which actually kind of makes him more badass because he doesn't stop. He like gets hit by Gate of Babylon and stuff, and he keeps going. But he does get like crazy fucked up, like real bad. He almost dies. Oh yeah, George's horse. How did I forget that? What's his name? It's like starts with a B, like Buoyant or something. I don't think I'm getting that right. I forget. It's been a while. I know most of the riders don't have rides. It's really dumb. Yeah, I know. I know that's like the joke, but it really is stupid. Yeah, Ushi does canonically have a horse, but yeah, they don't ever do anything with it. Do any of my archers need bond? I guess she's close to 10, so that's the thing. She's not AoE though, but whatever. Hey, Eli. Oh yeah, Achilles horses. Yeah, there's a lot of cool horses in Fate. I killed Fluffy. Why would you do that? Chat, you gotta admit, Fluffy is probably the most memorable boss in FGO. Ort is kind of the most memorable in terms of like, because he's such a big lore character outside of FGO, and that was a lot. But like Fluffy, man, because he was so hard, everybody remembers that fight. That was so iconic. I do kind of hate the fight though because it's hard for kind of bad reasons, because it was like so strong army. And then they nerfed it and it wasn't quite as bad. That kind of pissed me off that they nerfed it like that though, but it probably shouldn't have just been like that way in the first place. But yeah, for like he like in terms of like impact on like being famous, he's close to Ort, probably not as close, but even though it's played the game, I think he's probably the most memorable. I mean, I don't know, Ort's hard to, Ort was just like, it was like Cell from Dragon Ball, you know, you think he's dead and then he comes back and all this stuff, you know, there was a lot of hype there. And then his humanoid design, that really was crazy, because that'd be like a meme that, you know, Ort was going to get a humanoid design, you know, and be summonable and all that. That was like a joke, and then it actually happens, and then he creates a brand for himself and all this just crazy shit, right? That really was something. And actually, it was pretty believable too. I think they did a good job of not having Ort do anything that wasn't in line with his original lore. Like the Crystal Valley, that's always been a thing. You know, that hijacking and taking over the Lost Belt, that's completely in line with how it's been described in the past. Totally fine. You know, him being able to learn things and copy things, that's always been a thing he could do. And it working in like ways you wouldn't expect, you know, it's always been a thing. So him like learning the summoning system and all that makes sense. So it all lined up pretty well. It does suck though that, you know, this form of him didn't get any gameplay, you know, that they didn't get to that. That does suck. Maybe someday. Yeah, the Grand Foreigner was fucking crazy because, like, you know, it's not supposed to be able to do that. And he made that shit up. I swear, dude, that part, like, Nasu's old enough that had to have been inspired by Cell. It just that was so similar. Like, the way you think he's done and then comes back all of a sudden and all that. That was super, super similar. We do need to make an Ort emote. That does need to happen. I should make some stars. Now, Zeus is a hell of a boss. I love Zeus to death because he's not super hard for... okay, so Zeus is hard when you don't understand the fight, right? A lot of people with like really meta units lost to him several times because they just didn't understand it. But then once they learned it, it was pretty easy. And Low Stars was really fun though because same thing, you need to learn the fight, right? You had to understand some of the nuances to the gimmicks. But then it was still difficult once you understood it, right? Because Low Stars are just weaker. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. So Zeus was probably my favorite fight, actually, because one, I was excited for Zeus to show up in Fate even before FGO existed. I was hoping someday we'd get to see a Fate take on Zeus. And then his voice actor, just chef's kiss. So few lines, and he just, like, wow, did he... like, that really is something. When you have that few of lines and you still encompass the character that well, you know, and that's good communication with the voice director, right? Like that's really something. Same for Beryl, right? And boy, I like how Beryl's voice actor barely did any voice acting, but he's like really really proud of that role, right? And really sticks with it, even though he's barely gotten to do anything. But yeah, Zeus combined, you know, just such a legendary figure in real life, and me personally just wanting to see him in Fate, and then, you know, all this build up and the amazing voice acting, the incredible music, and then just such a unique gimmick to the boss fight that wasn't shallow and cheap. It was actually interesting and really had really changed how you approached the game. That was awesome. Then it was still, once you learn it, it was still difficult for low stars, because if you did stronger units, once you learned it, it was quite easy. And I get that's disappointing for a lot of people, but for me it wasn't, because I was doing low star stuff. So Zeus was just like the best boss experience I think I've had in the game. Like combining the music, the character, the voice acting, the lore, all that shit. That was just too cool, man. Almost. Oh wait, no, I can do this. That's right, Calamity Jane's actually a support. Imagine that. And yeah, he's the only Lost King we don't have. I fucking hate that. It'll probably happen though, because they finally gave us a Greek god. They finally did it. It took so long, dude. But because she's in, it's like a ray of hope that they'll do the others, because now they seem to be okay with it. So it'll probably happen. The problem is, he might suck now though. They do such a bad job with animations and everything now that he may not be that awesome. Can we just have a new Fate game that's better and has a dev that gives a shit? Because yeah, it'd be cool to get Prototype Mordred, but like, I'd rather have them in a game that's actually, I really hope though Prototype Mordred's not what people think. I really do, because I think he will be, because, you know, Mordred, if you only knew regular Mordred from her Battle of Kimlan moment, you would really be missing what makes Mordred an awesome character, right? And I think it's probably the same for Proto Mordred. You literally only have like the snippet of him fighting Arthur at the end, right? I don't think that's going to really, like, people make him like this Yandere meme. I'm not sure that's actually going to be and I don't know, Type Moon is pretty lame these days, and they might lean into that, and maybe he is just going to be a dumb fucking Yandere meme. But I hope that's not the case. Oh fuck, there's another wave. I didn't realize. That was a terrible hand reshuffle. This is not great. I did not realize I was going to be fighting that much HP with a setup like this. I didn't mind the final chapter. It was far from my favorite, though. They didn't do enough. Like, you know, like, it was kind of shallow. It was cool to, like, have all the characters come back and have it represent each Lost Belt. But they didn't really do enough with that. It didn't really mean anything. And, I mean, it was cool. Like, I liked the final boss, don't get me wrong, but I think it could be better. The writer of Fragments does have a bias for Yandere type characters, so unless Proto Mordred gets used in another Fate series that can explore his character like APOC did with regular Mordred, he might get shafted. Yeah, you might be right. Negative aura compared to Guedia final. I certainly agree with that. I don't think the finale in general just absolutely did not live up to part 1. But it wasn't the worst. APOC Mordred is so good in the book. She's okay in the anime, but dude, she is so much better in the book. There's so much more depth to her character. Because like, I did not like... Okay, way back. This is way, way, way back. This is way before FGO existed. There used to not be that much Fate, right? And back then, the Saber was always fucking Artoria or some kind of Artoria face. Right? And when you know APOC comes out, oh that sucks. But when APOC comes out, you've got Siegfried, literally the first saber that's not an Artoria face, and then Mordred, which is just more of the same, right? And then they get rid of Siegfried instantly in the story, right? Like Siegfried dies so quickly, and that was just so lame. I'm like, this is so stupid. So I was so biased against Mordred, you wouldn't believe. Like, I was so sick of Artoria faces. She's just another one. She's the status quo. And I'm like, can we please have normal sabers? Right? Because like they've implied there's all these other sabers. Why does it always have to be an Artoria face? Right? And Mordred was just more of that. So I was like, man, I don't give a fuck about Mordred. And then I only read like the little beginning of APOC, and then I didn't pay attention to it for ages. So all this time, I'm biased against Mordred. I really don't like Mordred, and I'd see them pop up in, you know, art or people talking about it on stuff, just whatever, you know, fake content. Mordred would come up here and there. You see it on the wiki or whatever. And then I finally got around to just sitting down, and because then APOC was finished. I didn't read it much because I read like the beginning, and then I was just kind of waiting for it to finish, and I didn't really think about it. But then I finally like, okay, I'm just gonna sit down and read this. And again, super biased against Mordred. You know, I'm way more looking forward to like Achilles and Karna and that kind of stuff. But then like, it sucks because a lot of this, most of the core reasons why I like Mordred are not in the anime. They're literally not in the anime. But in the books, like Mordred has 2 flashbacks. In the anime, she has 1. And they kind of just fuse them both and put them together, and they cut out all the bits that I really care about. But yeah, once in the books, when you actually see like what's motivating her and why she does what she does and everything, the character just makes way more sense and is like way more like relatable. And I was like, oh shit, this character's actually awesome. So yeah, then now Mordred's one of my favorite characters. Which is funny, when I was so biased against that character, and now she's like one of my favorites. I wouldn't say my favorite, but definitely up there. But it does suck that a lot of that didn't make it into the anime. Really only like the surface level things that are cool about Mordred made it into the anime. Not a lot of the real meat of like what's motivating the character. Oh yeah, didn't they just delay the Fate Extra remake or something? I think they said something about it. Yeah, I think this kind of is why Mordred's so awesome, though. I agree that if you only watch the anime, Mordred and Sisigo still steal the show, right? And I think everyone I've ever talked to seriously about this agrees that APOC would have been better through the eyes of Mordred and Sisigo instead of Zig. That would have worked way better. And that they also, where they were in the plot, they were kind of set up to be that anyway. It's actually super weird that Zig's the main character. It really doesn't work. And Zig would have been an okay character, but he should not be the main character. That's like a big problem with APOC. Actually, I think that's the biggest problem with APOC, because it makes things play out in a really dumb way. Like having Zig beat Karna and everything. It's just dumb. Like that shit's so much plot armor, and so it just doesn't work. Yeah, Mordred and Sisigo being the main characters would have been better. And I agree, if you only see the anime, it's still like that, but it's like that even more in the books, because there's so much more awesome about them when you read the book. I actually recommend, if you're into Fate at all, I strongly recommend reading the APOC books, because I think they're substantially better than the anime. I don't think they're perfect. A lot of the problems the anime has is still a problem in the books, don't get me wrong. Like, the ending is still kind of whack, and there's still some real issues with APOC, but I think the books are significantly better. Fate fans actually reading? Yeah, I know it doesn't happen a lot. Why isn't she playable? So I haven't read all of the manga, but I think the manga is still kind of... The manga is better than the anime, definitely, but it still fucks a lot up. And, like, it still dropped the ball with the VC Brawn and Adam and everything. And look, I'm biased, but I think I'm biased for good reason. Everyone I've ever gotten to actually take me up on this and actually read the part of the books, you don't have to read the whole thing, but the people that actually read the Avicii Bronze stuff have all agreed with me that it's like, he's an awesome as fuck character, and he's so much better in the book. Like, there's a reason he's one of my absolute favorite characters, and the fight scene with Adam is probably my favorite fight scene that's ever happened in Fate. And it's like the manga does not do Adam and VC Braun justice at all, and the anime certainly doesn't. Like I'll say this: the manga does Achilles better. Like when Achilles fights Siegfried and Frankenstein and all that, that is much better in the manga. That's definitely more akin to how it was in the book. The anime the anime did not sell just how unbelievably strong Achilles is there, and like just how much he beat their asses. Like, here's the thing. I've seen anime adaptations that don't run the book. And there's been plenty of times, it doesn't have to, like, I can think of all kinds of movies and anime and blah, 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 blah that adapt a book. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, there's some maybe tiny things here and there that I wish were different. But overall, this is still a really good adaptation and does get the soul of it across and is really good. I can think of a lot of stuff like that. But yeah, APOC's not one of them. Yeah, No Country. I actually think No Country for Old Men, the movie, is probably a bit better than the book. They're both good, but yeah, the movie's incredible. And like the Zeta movies, the Gundam Zeta movies, the movie adaptation of the show. It's kind of a compilation film, but there's a lot of new footage, like a lot of new footage. I think they're better. A lot of people are like, oh, it doesn't capture the essence of the show. I think it's better. I think it's much better. But yeah, I think No Country for Old Men, a lot of its theme, like, just works better with the visual narrative, so I think it was a bit better. And then Prototype, not Prototype, Fate Strange Fake is kind of disappointing me because I love the source material so much, dude. And like, cause you see glimpses of it in the anime, dude. Like, dude, Jack and Pale Rider and all these, they're so cool. Right, but oh my god, I've never seen a Fate adaptation like vandalize the source material that much. And it's not even vandalized. They're trying. I swear to God, they're trying. But it's like there's not enough screen time. They don't have. They need significant. You can't take 10 books and put it into 26 episodes. That is just that's insanity. So I mean, they're cutting more than any. Like APOC did not cut this much. APOC cut a lot, but APOC did not cut nearly this much. Yeah, actually, it's funny. I think Stay Night is the best adaptation they've done. Now, it's not the best in terms of, like, animation quality and stuff like that. There he is, the meme. How do I put this? Some people get really upset with Stay Night because it incorporated aspects of Unlimited Blade Works into it, right? But that's only a problem if you're actually wanting to do Fate, Unlimited Blade Works, and Heaven's Feel as separate things. If you're only going to do one story, the story is literally just better taking the two and fusing them together. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got a phone call. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so the whole incorporating Unlimited Blade Works stuff into the Fate route is, like, fine if you're not trying to do separate routes. And it's way more organic. Like, nothing they put in from Unlimited Blade Works was, like, weird or dumb, right? It all made sense. And it was just better. Like, Kojiro in the Fate route only gets the one fight with Artoria, then you never see him again. right? It's just better having their conclusion, you know, happen before the stuff with Medea and everything, and it's like completely logical and fine. It's just better. It's literally just better. There's a lot of stuff like that they changed that make it way better. Dean Stay Night is significantly better than the visual novel Fate Stay Night. It's not even close. Like the Fate route in the visual novel is incredibly boring. And you never learn Medea's Master's Kozuki, you never see him throw hands or any of that stuff, right? And they incorporated it where you would never even know that they changed something, right? You know, its only issues are just the Fate route's not amazing to begin with. But the thing is, you don't judge an adaptation based on how good the source material is. It's how good did they do of adapting it. And I think they did a really good job of adapting it. Okay, chat, I hate to be abrupt, but I need to do something in real life. It'll probably take an hour or two. But then I'll probably come back later tonight. And what do you guys want? We either do more Fate Strange Fake and Cry, or we could do, you know, Dark Souls 2 or Slay the Spire or whatever. But yeah, I should be free later tonight and can stream. I do want to see his animations though. Is he summonable? Like, do people have on their friends list yet? Because I would like to stream that, like seeing his animations and whatnot. Fucking Dragon's Dogma 2. Final Ascension is locked. Okay, we'll see. Oh, I do need to play Blood Thief. That looks super cool. Yeah, maybe a little bit of FGO tonight, and then we'll do something else. Is Robin in this event at all? That would make so much sense, but I doubt it. That would make so much sense though. All right, chat. I need to bail because I gotta get my ass in gear, but I will definitely be back later tonight. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Don't be mean to CGI dragons. Fucking Beastly gets me with that every time.